Hello everyone and welcome to the second day of the 2017 WTC, and you are hidden behind the browser.
We ruined people's breakfasts already.
I am Quentin and you are
Chris.
Hey Chris.
Here for the second day.
The second last day.
Exciting.
Hopefully we cannot take that much drink every night, I think.
No.
So
No.
it's gonna have to start.
Underwater now.
Yes, water is good. So, what are we starting with?
We have
Sweden.
Sweden,
That we had already yesterday,
we
right?
did.
It's the exact same team.
and then England Lions. We had the choice of England Knights or Sweden that we'd already seen because Music got a French team, and they were like, "Do we have two French teams on the stream at the same time?"
So no, yeah, because the other French team is going to be on the other stream today, and I still do not get to comment on it. I'm a bit sad.
Yeah.
It's,
we'll get there.
you know,
we'll get there.
it's,
Next round. They can't argue next
round.
round because there's only 2 games next round.
Yeah, but no, there's more. There are 4, right? Actually, no, you're right. There's only 2 games, so they won't be. Yeah, so
if France goes through, if both French teams go through, they can't play each other.
I hope
We will see them on the table.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we start this broadcast? With the lists. We're going to see. So there's one thing is like we already commented on the list from the Swedish team, but we can probably go through that quickly again.
Yep.
So we have 4 teams: Sweden, Svilin,
Yeah.
Gustav, who's
So
playing
Gustav-
Legion of Emergence.
So he was the Fianna 2 player yesterday. We went up against Abby, managed to pull it out. It looks like the parents are already going on.
Oh, so we're gonna have to be very quick about that.
Be very
So
quick.
basically, so Sweden, Serin and Rayas, Fianna 2 listed. Probably, if you're playing Everblight, if you're playing against people who are playing Everblight, you've probably seen this list already. Siren and Rayas, lots of tools, lots of possibilities, very interesting list to play, and complicated to play against because of all of those possibilities that's being offered to the player. Jacob is playing Resnick 2 and M1. Yesterday was playing M1 against 82, and he lost.
He did, yeah. 82 had too much. Christian.
No.
Poor dervishes went squish.
So I'm curious to see if he's gonna have to play the Resnick 2 list, because just for the sake of looking at this big chariot here, the Chariot of Flames.
Chariot of Flames.
Yes.
I suppose it depends on what he's coming up against. I can't see. Actually, I think I can see Menoth on the end table, so we might be seeing him on our stream.
And then we have Niklas, who yesterday was playing Axis 1.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what's in there. So we've got in the England team, we've got 4. 4 War Machine and Hordes in the line. So I think we might actually see Directrix in this one, unless obviously he gets dropped into the England team's Cryx player, and then we might see a repeat of yesterday with our Axis into Cryx.
Olaf
So we
is
played
playing
Butcher
Butcher 3 in
Cryx
Catch F1. We had him on the stream yesterday.
And he
he's the
won.
team captain.
Very good win against Cryx. He said he wasn't quite sure.
I wasn't quite
but
sure.
managed to get
He
it.
told us basically switched to K-Door just a couple of weeks before the WTC, and it was basically the first. He didn't really. He chose the Butcher 3 list, before list locks, and he wasn't sure. Never played against Cryx with it.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, should be working.
Fine.
We'll
And
see.
it worked. It worked. For him.
worked,
It might
actually.
work for him again. We'll have to see. And then the last
Oscar.
one we had was Oscar, which was what we reported on, who
He
had
was playing,
Ostrom.
Thixus and Ostrom, and he was playing Ostrom yesterday.
I see the Thexus list today.
Ooh.
The Horde.
The Horde of
So,
Mons.
cool. And then for England,
So it's gonna be up.
all the way up. Should be open. There we go.
Here we have Matt Goinger.
So I think this is who we're going to see on the stream. So he's got Haley 3 and Striker 1.
I remember Matt, isn't he a Legion of Everblight player?
Yes, previously.
previously. So you switched for him for Mark
He's
3?
played.
Or just...
I think he played Signal before Mark 3, but
Okay.
but I know he has since Mark 3 been playing. Signal.
GG.
Yes, I have been battered in a tournament by Matt before, so yes.
So Haley 3, Striker 1.
So Haley 3 out of theme.
True.
Which is crazy for Signal, but I suppose at the moment Haley 3 doesn't need the theme. She just works well with trenches. Obviously, when the trencher theme comes out, I've been informed that it's already really good. It's basically what we see now, but with extra free stuff and no lancers. So that would be obviously a bit of a change, but a plus for her. And then Striker 1. So this is the you don't get to kill anything. Striker 1. It's like the other side of the Halo feat.
Oh yes, the list with the 2 Storm Striders and 1
Hurricane.
Colossal. Yeah, 1
So 3 big bases, everything at +5 to 8 armor for the turn, and then the support. So because it's double arcane shield in that list and snipe. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see who he. I think he's going into Menoth. So it'll be interesting to see what gets dropped.
Let's see.
Where?
Patrick Dunford,
Patrick Dunford, so current
Heretic and Dreamer.
yeah, current world champ.
Oh,
So he has his Heretic list, both Dark Menagerie. He's been taking some names with the that Heretic list already and Dreamer. So they're fairly similar, but he does have some specific matchups in mind. I'd imagine if we saw into Cryx that we'd see the Heretic, and then obviously I don't know what matchups his Dreamer he likes into. I imagine Dreamer itself is good into sort of like guns and things like that. So
I don't know anything about the Heretic. I know I've faced Dreamer once, but yeah, we'll
Heretic
see.
is very good into infantry-based lists. So things because he's got rebuke.
Oh, so you just say no
just no
charge.
charges, and he has wall of fire as well. So he's got a really good level of control for what doesn't look like a control caster when he's up against infantry. Whereas Dreamer with the Artifice, she's got that cover she can put anywhere. She's got weird threat extension. She's got the phantasms coming in and blocking up charges and all this kind of craziness. So yeah, that is the other thing that I find really funny, which I never realised. Obviously, the Dreamer on a scenario, and we don't know what the scenario quite is yet, but if there's a flag on there, the Dreamer has her own supply of solos to
that is
produce.
true. It comes every time to kill something, or something that is kills something.
Yep,
so
and then you just run it off. So that could be really bad for your opponent. You kill the model that's on the flag, and then you replace it with the Phantasm, and then it's yours. So, yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, those Grimkin, love them.
Then we have Paul Watson.
Okay, so
Thyra.
Yep, Thyra. Lots of stealth, lots of auto point damage, lots of parry. That's
Flamebringers.
yeah.
I
And
know
imagine
they can be pretty powerful.
stealth caster, pretty good into things like Ghost Fleet. So I'd imagine that to be dropped if we see that all goes into Cryx. And then Ammon is kind of like a tankier version of the other Ammon list. So we've got less dervishes, we've got 2
And more cruisers.
but there are 6 heavies.
True. 2 indictors.
So four extra, and yeah, so 4 extra heavies, but 6 less knights. So good. If that ends up being a mirror, that would be very interesting. Just jacks everywhere.
So just yes, you might be hearing a lot of noises around us. We have the German and the French team currently talking about how the weather is, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's very close to our booth, so that's why. Then we have somebody we already seen in that stream.
So he was on our test stream, Rich, dropped his Sorcery 2 list into Ghost Fleet, managed to take that home, so there's a possibility of, depending on who he gets dropped into, where we'll see him. And then there's a Cobra 1. This was the list we were talking about with the Don, where it seemed like it was in the bag for Rich, and then the Don
Just stuffed 8 times in a row or something.
yeah, from what we've heard different things, but supposedly the Don himself admits that there was a bit of dice interfering with the result there, but as you say, you've got to play to the dice, so the Don managed to finish that one off and take it home, so very close game. And then
We have Ryan.
and I can't imagine you get this far without a Cryx player, so we have the current
Wait. What do you probably know, but let's take an educated guess here.
Yeah.
What could the Cryx player could be playing?
It would be, and again, because I've been battered by this so many times, that would be Denny or Ghost Lead and Coven host.
Really? Let's see. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. So these are the lists. I don't believe he's made any changes since the Nationals, so he took home the UK Nationals with it recently.
So wouldn't you want to change a couple of things, because it's a team event? So even if you're really good as as a solo masters and you'll be able with your pairing to succeed to win those events, it's not like it's going to be exactly the same, because you have to tailor your list to be able to tackle issues that you think you're going to face.
You do, but because the Lions were the team that I came over with and was kind of part of their boot camp when they were over here, basically I was the one that they punched in the corner to get themselves going. But the way that sort of Pat thinks about it is that you've got to have, as much as there's a skew and as much as they can look into the matchups and how good each matchup is, you've just got to be able to play whatever you get dropped into. You can try and push for the skew sort of lists to make sure you get 3 good matchups compared to 2 bad matchups. But from what I can understand, the way Pat plays is he's just going, no, we're just going to have 5 good lists. We're going to look for where the really glaring, obvious problems are, and then we're just going to play games. So, and it seems to be working for him so far.
Indeed.
It does mean that obviously when it comes, it's like a double-edged sword. You don't have that skew to throw into people, but your opponent doesn't. Therefore, you can see what your opponent's doing when you see something. Yeah. So you can hopefully you can hopefully.
But the thing is also with those lists, you can basically take. You are the player who is causing problems for the other player to find answer to. So you can just. It's true. You can just come with Coven, Dark Host, Ghost Lead, Denigro 1, and I'm the problem here. You have to insert
exactly. They're just standard lists that you'd see at any tournament, and you can throw your skew into it, but it'll still probably win. So, yeah.
Okay, so the scenario for this round is going to be
Recon 2.
No, absolutely not. Actually, this was a start from yesterday, and it is spread the net.
Spread the net.
So
we were just mentioning about the flags.
Just mentioned about the flags, and the thing is, with spread the net, I think it's the only scenario, if I'm correct, that allows a player to win in one turn.
Correct, because you can score all 3 zones and 2 flags.
And you can. Probably something you can probably do it with Coven a bit easier than another list.
It is a live scenario.
It is, yes.
The problem with it is that although it's a live scenario, it's only a live scenario if your opponent is too timid. So you'll tend to find that a lot of people when they first play this will lose because they won't realise how quickly the CPs can go up. So your opponent, whoever's the most aggressive, will just shove in. You'll go, ooh, that's a bit scary. Maybe I only put a few models in to contest. They kill those models, they score 5 and win. Whereas so this one is very live unless you actually shove in. Now that's the thing which makes Coven really good into this, because they can shove really hard in, use their feet to be basically right next to you.
I remember
no damage and still get to.
I remember a game I had on this scenario with the Coven Garlghast list that I was playing, and so basically I was looking at my opponent and I said, I think I can score 5 points this turn. And he looked at me like, I don't think so, because he didn't think like I could actually get something in the flag, and so I had one witch on the right bottom zone, the ball basically in the middle, my Bane Cav on the top left zone, I just charge and reposition and push everything out. I had one witch to run on the left one.
Jacks. It's Jacks on the ones.
I had the,
Deathripper.
You're right, it is the Deathripper that I ran afterwards. Basically my cavalry pushed everything, and I had the Deathripper running afterwards. I have one witch on the left flag, and then there was something missing on the top right side, and I just charge with a Wraith Engine, pop something, Machine Wraith, or the other way around, and then it was just running there, and I was like, 5. I'm good.
Yeah, this is, if you take your eye off the scenario with this one, you will get punished for it. So, but I'd imagine at this level of player, they would have played this, they would be aware of it. So, but that does mean if something falls over at the wrong point, if a unit dies or if a Jack dies that you were looking to protect the flag with, that can open it up. So, we'll see how it goes. So, it looks like they're doing the pairing process at the moment. So we'll have to not be too loud, so we don't give shit away.
Absolutely. Still going to have the
we just had the thumbs up from Ryan. I don't know whether that's he's just happy. Ryan's a bit concerned over which table we might be commentating on. Oh, beautiful! So it looks like we are going to get to see the UK national champ in Coven. So that'll be on spread the net. So no pressure there, Ryan. England is watching. So what I'll do is, it looks like they're nearly there. Once they've got the sides, I'll go up and start all the laptops, and then we'll start talking through the matchups.
Yep. So when you select your matchups, or even like this, like for the UK team, how does it go? Like, do you guys just look at the other players' list and you decide like that?
Yeah.
I'm asking the question because you can see on the left, the French is using complicated software to try to get the best pairing that they can be possible.
From what I've seen, and obviously I've not been in the room with them when they do the proper sort of, all the matchup process they've gone through, but from what I can understand is the pie is very much, if you can play a good game, you can play a good game. If you play well, if you know what you're playing against, you can just win. So, as I said, I think the way they look at it is they just look at the opponent teams and sort of say, what is a really bad matchup that you just don't think, no matter how well you play, you can.
And so this is the only one against. So it's more about the couple of matchups you want to avoid. Then,
Okay. So in that case, if he can get everyone into a 50-50, and his team are better, then they'll win.
So you're more into a 50-50 chance,
or at least
thing. Because I know some teams are more about, we're going to sacrifice that player because we think it's going to give us the better possible matchups for the other things, for the other games.
Yeah, I think in that perspective it would be, and as I said, I'm putting words in Pat's mouth here, but I think what they probably do in that case is they would look to see if you've got, say, 3 people that say they're really good into the other games, and then you've got 1 player who says that they're okay into the games, and they're not great, but they can have a game with the 4th player. But then what they'll do is they'll try and match them up because he's not got a great matchup, but the other 3 have got like a really poor matchup in there. So I think at that point is when you're kind of going, we'll make sure these kind of get a better matchup, and then you're a sacrificial one, but you're not really sacrificial. You're just the guy who's kind of goes, I'll take the hit, but I think I've still got a bit of a game. But obviously once you start reaching the semi-finals, finals times.
It is what it is. Like
we'll see how the strategy works.
All the teams that we're gonna stream today, but on this stream, on the other stream, are only winning teams. So everybody here is at 3-0, trying to get a 4-0, and everybody we're gonna watch here today, there's still gonna be, there's still a chance for them to become the world team champions. World team champions.
So we'll see. They're having a good chat about it. Most teams would have gone to their tables now.
Well, the thing is, like, at this level of the competition, I guess the thing you don't want to mess up is the pairing process. Like, if you drop, like as we were just saying, like if you're missing the thing and like you're missing something into one of the opponent list, and you just drop the wrong player in front of the wrong player and just get a loss in front of this because you're not able to reach these 50-50 chances of getting through. Well, that's one game down. It's like when you're trying to, to put the full Jack list or an Ostrom list against Xeris 1, for example.
Indeed. Good morning to Longy B-Ball. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Oh, so I have a couple of things to say actually. So it looks like yesterday when the French team was being streamed on the other stream, one of the Swedish player that's from the team Watch Machine, the guy with the jumpsuits, and they're just drinking and watching things. Okay, so one of them was invited on the other stream to comment on the game from the French people, and then looks like he was really rooting for the French. He was really rooting for the French, and it looks like at some point somebody in the chat, and people in the chat were starting to say, "Get the French streamer out." And I've been told that this morning. I was like, "Oh, wait, in which stream were you commenting in, Quentin? Like, where were you?" I was like, well, I was commenting the Norway versus Sweden. I was thinking, wasn't the French thing because there were people yelling at get the French streamer out of this.
Yeah.
And they were
it wasn't even French people.
No, it wasn't the French people, but they were the Swedish person. He was so much rooting for the French team that looks like people got annoyed. so no. I haven't got the chance to give my
trying
enlightened opinions on my teammates when they are playing.
But next, if they both win next round,
Oh,
100% we will have a French team.
At
You
least
need them both to be on next round, and then we can get them.
I hope we're going to get at least one French team to go through.
Unfortunately, we try and get the teams, but Muse keeps stealing them.
They keep stealing the French team. I don't know why. I don't know why.
We've got the French presenter.
I'm the French, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. You know, how much insight is the American presenter going to get on the French team?
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, they should get the American teams on there.
No, I have my.
Oh, hang on. No, there is no American teams.
No,
left,
no. The only American left is Norbert in the UK, in the English team. So.
I apologise. It's all in good banter. So they are still having a chat. Come on, boys. We want to see some games.
I think there are 4 minutes left. But it's a bit complicated to decide because I think the French team. It's funny because we're talking about the French team here.
Their matchups, but they're just deciding the lists. I think that's what they're doing now.
The French team, we've already played against Robin, we've already played against Sasha at some few events like the Clock Gun and things like this. So some of the players didn't know what they have in front of them. And the thing is, like for example, nobody in the French team played against the Poland Hussard or Australian Drubbers before, or Canada Goose, right? And they were very good teams. And the French teams, they won over those teams. Allez la France! And now, I think there is not this fear factor, but this. Oh, I know those guys. I know they're good, and I already played against them. So I don't know. Psychologically speaking, I don't know if the French team wants to approach this.
I think this comes back to like how Pat was playing it. Is that kind of if you think about it too much.
There's that, but
you start to stress. If you consider this as just a random steamroller that you've just happened to have been put up, some of the best in the world.
I know, but this is what I guess. This is what I think the French team here is a bit afraid of. They're trying to make sure that they're not missing anything.
The other side
because they know that players like Robin Mokish is just able to grab a list in the morning. Actually, other people prepares for him. He doesn't know what he's going to be playing with. He comes to the Belgian Master. I think it was this year. It was like, hey, dude, you're playing score. This is what you're playing. Okay, and there was a couple of things that were okay, and he won it. It was like, okay, thank you. I just came, I didn't know what I was going to play with. I looked at the rules in the morning. I won the event.
I think we'll go in.
So you're gonna have to run. We're gonna try to entertain the stream.
Yeah.
With probably
put the hat on. You're much more entertaining with the hat.
Thank you. Just putting the hats on.
We are currently just before you.
I'm gonna put it in the middle though, so I'm gonna be able to answer questions. If you have any questions, go ahead.
So it is England Lions versus Sweden's Feeland on our stream. They're still all meandering around the table, so I'm not quite sure who is where. I think we're going to be seeing. It looks like it's going to be the Convergence against Cryx.
Ooh.
That looks like what we're going to see.
So should we root for? We've already seen that matchup, so I'm going to go for Cryx.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but I'll go get the matchups and then come on back.
Yeah. So we are getting ready for round 4, England versus Sweden, and we have people working on the tables. Yeah. So again, I have the French team very close to my booth right now, and they're basically doing the matches in their heads. Oh, if he takes this is what he's going to do, so I'm going to do this, so I don't feel comfortable, or this is what I'm going to do, this is what he's going to do. Trying to get, not to be surprised by whatever the German team is going to be able to put in front of him. And yes, we're gonna. So I'm just gonna go to the table cam now, see if it's working, and of course it's locked again. So when I fix that. Good. We should be fine now, as long as we don't move anything, I think, from the stream cam. Let's see. So we have Ryan. Who's going to play against Niklas.
Convergence against
Not sure if something are a bit complicated on the stream right now. I'm trying to fix this. We should be fine in a moment. Okay, there's somebody in chat talking French. Thank you, Toasty0. Thank you to be on the stream, but if you want to follow the French match, you're gonna have to go on the patch5.de stream, I'm afraid. And I'm just gonna ask somebody to just move the camera a little bit because we are slightly off. Thank you, Simon. I think it's more of the camera itself. You have to tilt slightly on the. Oh, it's stuck again. Okay, well I'm done with trying to make it work. It's slightly on the tilted like this. So.
C'est comme ci, comme ça. Oui. Non, je dis pas que je gagne, mais je fais souvent le match.
Yep. Slightly, a bit more. Yes. Can you move it slightly on the push it towards the this way? Oh, it messed up.
Both teams, can you come forward, please? Bernard, can you come on? Can I have both teams up front, please? Sure. Yep. So.
Okay. Well.
Good morning.
We'll try to find a way to fix the camera soon.
You're on the page 5DE stream. We're together with the Mutual News and the Crucible guys. Just a few things. First, when you have decided in the individual pairings which side you're going to take, the team that has to move
I think we should be fine like this.
will be moved over so that we have one team.
Somebody has a lot of hype going on.
Yes, and we are
the Mutual Mini stream is giving us indications because they have to swap the sides once people decide to stay at the table. It's a bit complicated.
And I actually don't care which team is on which side, just one team on one side. Be careful with the cameras. I know your friends like to hop up on the tables. They're kind of shaky sometimes. Another thing, please, mark clearly for us around the death clock which round it is and what the CPs are. Take a dice or a die or take this marker, but please mark it clearly so that we can see it on the stream and don't have to go and check it manually and interrupt you in your games. Of course you are.
So I think I might be okay if I start writing the name of the players right away.
The clocks are pretty good visible on the stream. Other than that, have fun, good luck. Obviously I'm a bit biased, so I'm pushing them a bit more. So, yeah. Okay, cool. If there's any problem, just let us know.
How much more?
It's slightly, you can slightly tilt it again, but otherwise I think it's going to be fine, I think. Thank you very much for This list, I think it's going to be Access.
Oh yeah, so 1 hour for 1 year.
So guys, Chris is currently out on the field to get more information. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Simon. On the other side, we have Cryx. And I think Ryan might be playing Coven, but yeah, it's putting clouds up, so it's definitely going to be Coven.
Is any of you guys fat enough to wear XL shirts so we can swap it?
One large shirt.
You have XL? Good job.
We change a large shirt, but it's here. Stretch it.
And that would be an honor because I was following you when you are playing.
And
I'm still not understanding Russian brain in Reclaimer, but
We can discuss it afterwards if you want. Can I have
so seems to have things going in a very high spirit in the French versus German match, and I'm trying to get Chris to come back as he's setting up all the laptops to record the games. As you know, all those games, we're only streaming one, but all the games from this round will be able on the War Room PL YouTube channel afterwards. Just a time for Marcin to edit it and put it up to put it on the channel.
non, parce que ça va quand même, c'est smart.
Juste des trucidés à la Paris. Je suis trop content.
Ça va passer?
Ah oui. Genre, ils ont fait exactement ce qu'on imaginait qu'ils allaient faire et qu'il fallait pas qu'ils fassent. Genre,
Donc faut pas se planter.
envoyer Nemo 3 comme Green King, ouais, Nemo 3 ça va au Green King. Vas-y. Ouais, c'est vous qui tu vas voir. À un moment, il va y avoir un électrolyte sur un petit. Oh! Ah merde, là. Ah, toutes les listes sont rejugées. Bon, on va voir. Eh, Manda, faut que tu fasses leur game. Hein. Donc ça va. Moi, suivant les notes, j'ai dit putain, équipe B, j'ai fait ce que j'ai pu, quoi.
Non mais ça va. C'est juste, ce match-là est peut-être plus tendu.
Ah oui, oui. Ah, je pense que l'Allemagne, c'est le plus gros client.
Sorry guys, I was exchanging a couple of words with the French coach. Yes, we are streaming live right now, dear sir. And the camera is over there though, so if you want to say hi, you're gonna have to come here. Well, you have 2 minutes if you want.
2 minutes.
Okay, well he's shy.
I don't speak English.
Okay, fair enough. So, bit of a personal pride here. We have the two French teams actually ended the first day at 3-0 like the English teams. At some point we thought they would be doing like French, England, you know, France, Angleterre, French, England, French, England, France, England, French, England, like just, I don't know, because it would be funny, but they did not, so we'll see, but it's still possible. Like if both French team wins and both English team wins those rounds, they will be French, France, England, sometime afterwards, which would be could be hilarious to be honest, but we'll see. So Chris is coming back. Hello.
Sorry for the delay there. It was quite an entertaining development while that was going on. So anyway, I'll go through the matchups with people. So on the table, obviously, we can see Ryan into Nicholas. So it's Access and Coven. But it's a different Coven this time. It was the Gore Shade. Sorry, it was a different host yesterday. It was Gore Shade host, which now it's going to be Coven host. So we'll see how that changes his matchup, if it's the same, if it's different. On the next table, we have Richard Beach with Zakoba 1 into Ferguson? Did I get that name right? Yeah. So Gustav. So into Gustav with he's using Resnick 2 now. So that'll be an interesting game. See how that one pans out. Oh no, sorry, he's not. He's using Rias and Rias and oh, we've got models falling everywhere.
Oh. Oops. What happened? Something fell?
The Ghost Fleet have just attacked us at the desk. There we go. Unfortunately, all inside, they wanted to just crush the Ghost Fleet models so that they can never be used to torture poor people again. But I did hand them back because nice French person. So anyway, so on that table, so we've got Cover 1 into Rias and Seren. On the third table, we have Pat with Dreamer into Jacob with Resnick 2. Now on this table, it's quite hilarious. There is a cloud with a fiery cloud, so it causes auto fire on anything that enters it. Pat won the roll to choose where he wants to go, and they checked where the flags were, and there was a flag in that cloud. So the flag on one side is inside the cloud, so no solo can take that without setting itself on fire. But and then when Pat said, "Well, I'll go first," and I thought, why is Pat doing that? You know, he's obviously going to get put on that table, but obviously the Sweden player, because they know what they're talking about, asked the Gremlin Swarms. Being incorporeal,
They don't care.
they don't care. In fact, as Pat likes to remind him, they'd also get concealment for being in the cloud. So at that point, it's a case of he can give Pat that side, which means that
This score is going to be
it's
forever
no
scored.
negative for him.
Yeah.
It's no negative for him at all. And so he did give Pat that side in the end, it looks like, but it was just that kind of thing where normally that'd be a really big terrain advantage. The fact that if you want your solos to go in, it's going to have to be a tough solo, but it's not going to cause any problems for Pat with those Gremlin Swarms, except for the fact that we know that probably it's only going to be the Gremlin Swarms that score on that flag. I can't imagine the Dream are going
They are. I mean, I
stuff.
think they're meant for that. It's just this annoying solo that is incorporeal and stealth.
Yeah.
And so you have to put a lot of resources.
I love them. My four have all got 4 different rec markers for different factions, and I've started painting them in the colours of my opponents at my local club. Because, you know, what's more annoying than something that's painted as though it's wrecked Jack for you? So, yeah, it's all good fun. Anyway, on to the next one.
The German people are giving like cards over. Okay, it's very nice.
Are they love letters?
It's probably oh wait.
Not sure what's going on.
It's probably a way to is it a mugshot on their own, of their own faces?
Maybe.
Hey, you're
inside
about
the
to be
German
crushed
flag.
by me. Hey.
Right, so table 4, we have Paul Watson against Oscar, and that's going to be Thyra into Osram.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so that could be quite interesting. So as we said with the Thyra list, I think the reason why Paul's dropped the Thyra list is that it can deal with hordes more. And as we said, I mean, this happened last time, didn't it? Dropped the list that we thought they'd probably drop into a horde, and then ended up. There was the Hexeris list on the first day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dropped it into and ended up playing into Osram. So it looks like for the Mercs, that pairing's really important. That they're like forcing opponents to drop their anti-horde list, and then just drop in Osram anyway. And there's no DNC in WTC, so they can do
Whatever they want.
whatever
right?
they want. So we'll be interested to see, although there's a lot of stealth in that list. So the spray bunnies, the blasters, I believe, are going to be much more important than the gunners. Because the gunners, I mean, yes, you can still, actually, no magical weapons. He's not going to be able to shoot the jacks if that's...
That's true, but
So that's going to be an interesting
until
game.
how far? Because what were the jacks already? I don't think like those were meta jacks that were pretty, that with a lot of speed. So
No, exactly.
I might just end up having to wait or having to suffer one round of shooting anyway.
I mean,
before
there's
they
definitely going to be the blasts, because we've got the battle engine in there. And
Yes.
the drillers is still obviously going to be there for a fight, but... So it's going to be, I think that's going to be a much more interesting game than originally you think. You kind of originally looking at it and go, Osram's just going to blow him off the table. But there
Yes, Blood of Martyr and the
Yep.
Sanctifier.
Yeah,
So
so
it's 2 jacks, and the Sanctifier, if I remember well, is pretty slow.
Yep.
Although it has reach. Another Margie is going to be has more speed, but
the
he
other
doesn't have
side to
reach.
it,
So
which is quite important to think in that one, is that we're looking at a very live scenario with flags. Osram yesterday had to go himself to one of the flags.
yeah,
Because there is no solos in that list. So that could be quite important on this scenario as well. So just have to wait and see how it all develops. Okay, and then the last table we have Matthew Golden. Huh? Oh yeah, rock on. Sorry, we just had the opponents on the table wondering if they could play.
they think they need our
They think we're
approval.
professional or
Yeah,
something.
they think they need us to give them the go. It's not the case. We are totally not prepared.
No.
We're just there sitting and talking
Yeah,
about
they were like, "Do you want to come and
stuff.
talk about War Machine for a weekend?" And I was like, "I would literally be doing the same thing at home, except to the wall and my tennies." So
It's much better. Like we
Why
have
not do it to
15
actual
viewers
people?
right now. And, we're still in a competition with the Muse on mini streams to get more viewers on our stream. I don't know how this thing is gonna go.
I've just realised that one of our people watching Prismacan is actually turns out to be Ben Thomas from England, because he's one of my club mates and he has orange Retribution. I just asked him what colour he painted his orange because I thought it was a really nice colour. There is now an orange painted Retribution wreck. So the last table we have Matthew Gallagher with Haley 3 into Olav with Karchev. So that's a lot of beef for Haley to get through. I mean, I know Kador is popular in the UK. I can't imagine that Matt, I don't know specifically on this one, but I can't imagine Matt wouldn't have come up against this before. So it's got. The thing is, I think that brings.
The camera is
the camera frozen again?
yeah. I'm gonna change that. Give me a sec.
Sorry, we'll get that refreshed now. It's when basically what we've discovered is when we try and set the settings, I think you just go default at the top.
Just before it was able to refresh when I was doing this, but I feel like it's not gonna work right now. So just to make sure that we're gonna have something.
Yeah, when we go to a certain quality, it's something to do with the quality that the software likes and the quality that the camera is, and it just occasionally freezes. So we have to come back to this.
We have to go back to like a lower quality, but it's working. So.
But we can at least talk about it, which is the important bit. Okay, so we've got Haley 3 into Karchev. Now in that list, the thing is, I think that would be very much in Karchev's favour because he's got the magical attacks when he needs them with the feet. But the feat changed. It removed the additional dice to hit. So that I think is really important because the thing with that Haley 3 list, as I've slammed my face into it many times before,
it basically tanks defense.
that +2 defense is ridiculous, and you can't slam your own models through it anymore like you used to be able to. So that again will be an interesting game. It'll be good to see. I can imagine we're just going to see this slow cloud wall coming up. And
how many magical weapon wise? I know during Karchev feats everybody gets magical weapons, but otherwise, is there any other way for
I
the
don't
player
think
to
so.
get?
We can have a look at that list, but I don't think so because there might be, if I remember it correctly, I think he might have it might be in Jaws, so you might have the a blessed. So there's one blessed destroyer shot, 2 forge seers that can magic attack. But that's it. So you got 2 magical attacks from the forge
There's
seers.
still something you could, you don't have to feed to get rid of the echoes, basically.
Yeah. And then they can come back. So it's going to be. I think that's going to be clutch. If somehow one of the echoes is either, for example, blown apart by one of those destroyers by that destroyer, so if Matt isn't careful with where his placement is and he gets to see one, or if he's having to contest his own with it in front of the cloud cover, that destroyer could potentially kill him with a good dice roll.
What I think also is that Matt may have chosen this caster because of the echo. Are the echoes actually able to score?
Yes.
Which means that it's much better if you have those things just running around and be able to just.
I mean, that's
here,
it.
1 point. Here, 1 point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you put one of the echoes in that zone between the rectangle and the circle, that's 2 zones.
So wait, because are they considered solos and casters?
No, I believe it's a unit. But for
Okay.
contesting, they
It's
are
good
just.
enough.
One a def. I think it's def 18. Yeah, Def 18 with focus, so you can't even really reliably kill it with blast. You have to roll pretty high even with blast because they can just negate. If that's the job that they're doing, then they keep it.
We need to do our place our bets now.
Oh, we need to place our
starting.
bets. Okay, so.
So I will go with Ryan on the first one.
I think we're both with Coven on this one. Okay, so Beach. So it's Zakova 1 into Legion. Now I'm gonna go for Zakova because it's because my friend and he killed me otherwise, and I'm totally biased. But also, I mean he had that game into Scorn yesterday that we heard. Legion, it's. I don't know about Riot Sarah though. That's not a very popular one. I'm not seeing, so it might catch him out.
If you don't, the thing is like if
I've seen those pikes into hordes though. That's what's giving me confidence.
If you have like a really good player playing Siren Rias and your opponent doesn't really know what the extent of the capabilities are,
yep,
this is gonna be a problem because this thing they can surprise you. They can just pop the caster back, send it into the into the middle of everything. Yeah. Flashing blade, flashing or whatever she has, and she has free decapitation or something.
If Rias gets anywhere near Zakova, it's game over straight away.
So you know what?
It's going to come down to that feat because with the no charges, it cuts down that threat range a hell of a lot. But if obviously the Legion player can fish out that feat early and then be able to do his counter feat to the assassination, then that will be. I could definitely see that as being one way out. But also, there's just so many pikemen in that list. So anyway, so I've gone with Zakova.
Okay, I'm going with Siren Rias.
Siren Rias. So you go with S and R. Right. So we now have Pat with Dreamer into Resnick. Now Resnick, I think that in theory is a pretty good draft because his feet can just. I'm trying to remember, does his feet you have to hit things or does he just choose something and it explodes?
No, it has to. You have to kill things.
That's Severius.
So it's complicated.
No, that's
because I don't think there is anything that could dive really that easily into the Dreamers list. I mean, there might be. No, that's Paul Watson.
No, it's Paul Watson. It's in the other team. It's the Sweden.
Padenford, yeah. And so basically, you have Carriager. Those are not going to explode. The 2 Krabbits maybe. The Gorehound, could happen. Matter as well. 2 Skin and Moans, and you have Gremlin Swarms. Oh, okay. If I remember well, Resnick 2 has the spell that gives everything in his army blessed and magical weapons. So basically to say those Gremlin Swarm, they're not going to be an issue too long.
What has he got in there though? What has he got that can actually reach them? That's the important bit. Because if they're now going to be in concealment, they're still stealth.
So let's see.
So he doesn't get around stealth. Unless he's got Rovin, and he still needs to be casting that, which is still 3 of his camp, and he's always got to be left on 1, otherwise. Oh, I suppose.
So you know what? He has Rovin, so he's going to be able to
get 1 or 10. He's got the Vessel, which is pretty good. I must admit, at killing them. And then he's got that has got guns. That is like a gun list. So it doesn't have a way around cover.
But Rovin, if I remember well, gives kind of eyeless sight or something, right?
That doesn't get round cover.
Okay.
So, I think I'm gonna go with Pat,
something.
just because it's Pat. I would be an idiot to Pat.
I'm gonna go with Resnick 2 because you don't get to see him often. I'm pretty behind on this game already, so I might as well just root
for the risky ones. Okay,
I'm gonna check something on Resnick quickly. Where is that Correctorate of Mana? Was it the last game?
Yeah. Oh, the last game?
This is Karshev versus 80. Oh no, there's even...
Yeah, we've got Thyra and Ostrom. So
okay, I'll go with Ostrom on this one.
I think I have to go with Ostrom on this one. I think Thyra is there, but I'm not sure Thyra has the punch to get through that armor. I think they're both pretty not great into each other. Because obviously you've got the stealth problem and things like that, but I think it's going to become this big mash in the middle. I think maybe Ostrom. I think Paul's way out is going to be the fact that he's got every zone. Every zone is live for Paul, whereas for Oscar, he's going to have to be putting Ostrom in predictable places. So I think that's the weakness that Paul needs to exploit. But if Oscar is clever with it, I think Ostrom wins that grind. So we'll both go with Ostrom on that one.
And I want to go with 83, just because I really like the caster. I really like the things that are technical, and I can't play it. I can't play those cast things like they're I'm gonna spend too much time playing, and I'm busy, gonna clock myself. But I really like, all those things are really technical. Like I move forward, I create a cloud, I get something behind, and then I have this thing that just can pop in and appears and destroys something, and then it doesn't matter. I have something else ready for the next turn.
If that was the old Karchev feat, I would be much more confident in Karchev to just get through it, jam in, feat, destroy everything. Because it's not, and because therefore he's stuck. I mean, it's not exactly low mat with those jacks. It's mat 7, but still against even the basic trenches, that's still 8. That's still you have to boost to get a trencher. That's then tough. So I think it's just at that point it starts to swing the other way. Yes, the jacks won't go down as super quickly, but neither is the Haley Army.
Yeah.
And then also you've got the problem of the short control area brings Karchev up. Whereas Haley's going to have stuff everywhere.
It's just going to be there. Yep, you know what? I'm in the back.
So I would imagine we're going to see Karchev past the halfway point, Haley in a nice line with these clouds, just destroying
I'm pretty
these.
sure if one of the CoC can just get to Karchev, it might be the young one.
If the young one with the Gragman buff gets on there, I've seen her take down a jack, and Karchev is just basically a jack. So, yep. So
it's
we will
not
see
easy
how
to
that
hide,
goes.
and so you can get some shoots before into it.
Yeah. Right, so
Shooting. My English is awful this morning. Yeah. So now remember that Resident 2 has actually Lamentation, and it's a Lamentation that is a 14-inch one. Dreamer is what? 12?
12. Oh, her control.
Yeah.
14.
14.
She
Okay,
is
so
a Fury 7 caster. She has, now that is something also to keep in mind when they're playing that game, is he has a threat buff. Dreamer has a threat buff, which is it's like a place. It's like a weird TK. It's a nuke, you hit it,
Abyssal Gate?
Abyssal Gate. So you can replace, turn it around 3 inches. So that means that the beasts, which you normally think are quite slow, she's got Mirage for one of them, so that gets it 2 inches up, and then they can bring the other thing 3 inches back.
Although
So there's an extra 5 inch
the courier might be able to just stop that.
with the magic resistance. Yeah, but if they're doing that, then they're not using battle for the guns.
Does it have? Oh yeah, you can arc node through the Cage Rager.
Yep.
So Dreamer doesn't have to put herself in danger.
Nope.
So that's something.
Yep. So we've got the Cage Rager in them to be that. They're tough. They're going to be, because it's Dark Menagerie, they're going to be armor 21 on the Cage Ragers from the start. The Skinnamones, I think if he can protect those Skinnamones, because although early they start armor 19, that's a sweet spot. Obviously, once they've got some corpses, getting back up to 21.
You're definitely behind.
There's enough guns in there though that makes it a bit more.
And they're going to be
concerning.
blessed, but it doesn't matter. Oh, actually, Death Knell. Is it a spell?
No, it's not a spell. You can't get rid of it.
Okay, so
It's like the stone.
so spell. Okay, so there's no way around it. So it's going to be on the
The other side, and I'm not sure whether Pat would do this with as many guns on the table, but one thing that obviously, and I'm not sure if Resnick has a way around this, I might be incorrect, but the Artifice is rough terrain. So if he needs to at a pinch and he thinks that she's safe, he can just put down that 5-inch AoE
in front of it and be like, yep, you're not gonna
bad
get
times. Anyway, so let's go and see what's going on
Yeah.
with
So
the game.
well, first turn is the first turn. So Ryan got his cav up and down, and
Yeah, so it looks like Axis has just gone mental on his first turn. Just flown up the table. Like literally must have ran everything.
That's what you're right to do. This. I was looking at it quickly, and I saw Ryan was measuring carefully what are the threat range of all those jacks to make sure the Bane cav would be just out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care so much. I
mean,
guess
those
Niklas,
taps are going to do some.
Yeah, I guess
big
Niklas next
damage.
turn is probably going to try to move forward and try to spray as much as they can. I think
this is going to force Ryan to first turn feet. Because if he doesn't.
It's a bit. I don't know because I mean. Yeah, it's probably.
Oh no, hang
gonna
on,
have to do
because
it
I'm trying to think. It's still the spray. If they spray their own stuff, the spray still goes out of line of sight, doesn't it? So they'll still be able to get things.
Isn't there a rule that you can't something like you don't
It's
have any
terrain.
sight or something?
If terrain blocks line of sight, that stops the spray.
Okay.
But because this is just your line of sight, is 5 inches. I don't. That's why, and you can see this is why. Obviously, Ryan knows this, so he's still making sure that that tep isn't able to do some damage. I think this is going to be a very strange sort of counter trade. You're going to see the teps move up. You're going to see them spray in. You're going to see then, I'd imagine then Axis is going to feat, which is going to then hamper Ryan's ability to come back at him. If you notice as well, I'm not sure, I would imagine he's done this on purpose because it's Ryan, he knows what he's doing, but some of the angles that those sprays are going to go at might clip the Knights, the Riders, sorry. Which means if any of those take damage, then that's a vengeance move, which can be really
able
important.
to get in and just wreck stuff. Also, when I did this game myself, and I realized that the Wraith Engine in the middle, because it has this huge. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it there. The 10-inch and the fact that you get +2 armor on your Bane Riders, the Teps had a lot of difficulties getting rid of them. It was all of a sudden it was really complicated for the player, the Cyrus player to be like, I'm just gonna click, clip them and they're gonna die. It was more like I'm gonna clip them to 2 damage. Oh shoot! Now they're gonna have vengeance.
Pretty sure that Wraith Engine, as long as he keeps it away from the jacks, that's going to be pretty key to this matchup as well. Because I don't believe you can use the magical weapon ability on the
TPs.
On the TPs. So that means the
Let's call them
TPs.
TPs.
Yeah. So the Teps can't kill the Wraith Engine. So it's only going to be the jacks, and I don't think the lights will be able to do it.
No, it's just during the Axis feat maybe. Because if I remember well, it's +2 strength as well.
Yeah.
So let's see.
So I think the defense on those riders, I think, means that he has to put an extra dice into hitting. Because otherwise you're looking at 7s.
What are those checks, by the way? Are they...
You got 2 inverters, I believe, and then there will be the light jacks. If I've just got the mouse here.
I guess there's 1 Corollary, 1 Galvanizers, maybe? I don't think so, though.
There you go, I'll bring it up then. And again, don't forget, if you want to see the lists that these guys are playing with, it's all on Conflict Chamber. You can go and have a look at the list there. Right, so it's 3 Galvanizers, 2 Inverters, a Corollary, and a Conservator is in there.
So Galvanizers will go, under the feed, it will be
Power 14.
Power 14. So might be enough. It's -4.
Yeah.
And the Wraith Engine doesn't have so many boxes. So
the other thing to note, and this is quite important, which might be why Ryan chose this side, is basically the entire list is spooky ghostly. And so that big obstruction there that we saw being used, it looks like it's been moved slightly.
I think they put the terrain up, but
I think they moved things around a little bit. But that one that was being used obviously by Ostrom yesterday, that impedes, other than for line of sight, those Banes can just go straight through that building if they need to. Whereas obviously, if they're trying to get into the zone, that's kind of cut off only to 1 entrance. So that's for the Convergence player, they're only really able to get in just going straight in at that zone.
Shooting in the... What is this? Is the flare one?
Deathripper. What's being done there?
Oh. I think one of the small ball of metal was able to flare the...
Oh, is that if we move back over to Convergence? We have indeed, yes, so it'd be round.
It was pretty fast though, it was cool. Okay, can you guys see us
we
now?
are back. Apologies.
These
obviously,
things happen sometimes.
Yep, all the time, which we're on.
So we don't know what actually happened.
Just blue screen of foreign language for me. So
we had to get one of we have to get the Polish coach to come in and fix it for us. Help us fix the problem here. So
as we were trying to do, it is round 2 before it all fell over. If you want to update the round.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now.
Hopefully without the blue screen of death. Okay, we're doing well.
So the keyboard is not working. Oh wait, no, it did work. There was just a lag thing. So I spaced. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So what have we missed? So it looks like there must have been some damage put onto that.
Yeah, we can see, I think, on the right hand side, there's one of the cards seems to have some.
Yeah, one of the Deathripper has taken some damage, but it's not dead, which is surprising. Looks like, I think he's gone, right hand side is to hit and left is damage, so he's gone for the accurate hits. Sorry, right hand side is to hit and left is damage, but he'd been 3 dice damage, 4 dice to hit, which might explain why he didn't die. I could probably be corrected by that by people in the chat if that's incorrect, but I think that's fine. Let's have a look what he's doing now. So he's just measuring out the flare bots, and the eliminators are all getting behind the wall, it looks like. One thing as well, you'll notice that obviously Axis does have that 14-inch control with the Corollary, but that force is so spread. That is literally one knight is on one end of one board, and there's another knight unit on the other end of the other board. So I'm not sure he's going to be able to catch all of it, so he might have to just pick a side to neutralise and then prepare himself. So this might be what he's doing at the moment, is if he doesn't think he can catch everything in the bottom end, he's just pulling everything back out of threat, so he can advance Axis up to the top end and feet. Now unfortunately I didn't get to see...
Oh, there was I forgot this activation. Please, can I use the clock? Thank you.
I'm not sure if he's feated. I can't see
as
a
well.
token. It looks like, I think that is Axis between the two tabs there.
What I can see here basically is that we had the Cyrus player taking a lot of time, with his tokens, the templates, just to make sure that everything was out of range, carefully, precisely, everything. So basically he's at 15 minutes now. I think his second turn, so still a fair amount of time. He still have a lot of time in front of him, but I'm always thinking, like, when you're taking so much time to be so precise. In Mark II, I remember we were just trying to eyeball most of the things. We're like, I'm gonna put it there, I'm gonna put it there, and you know what, this guy, I'm not sure, I'm gonna put it forward, see what happens. If you take the bait and you come in, we'll see. And things were much more fluid. What do you think about this change to the game? Because you can find players that literally going to use those templates
to make sure that
measure every single bit of their army is out of range.
I think it depends on what type of list you're using. So I know from certain games, so for example, talking to Rich, there's certain lists which the idea of that is to reach 7 turns. Get to 7 turns, win on the extra few scenario points. So at that point, you know you're going to need 7 turns out of your 60 minutes. You therefore need to have less than you're going to have about an 8-minute turn every time, if not less. Otherwise, for extra things like counter charge, stuff like that. So you have to play quick. If that's your idea, you have to play quick. You have to get through things like, for example, Ryan. This list, the first few turns are vitally important. Where everything is, how much you lose, how much actually makes it on feet, that's so important that you can use the extra time at the start of the game, because you're banking on the fact that you're never going to reach. If you're banking on the fact you're never going to reach turn 5, because it should be over by turn 4, but at that point, you've got 15 minutes a turn. So then you can actually start to spread it out. Now that obviously will kick you in the teeth if your opponent recognises that's what you're doing and stalls the game out. So that's why you see people fall on clock. Things like Haley 3, for example, because that's such a slow grind. You can tell the difference between someone who's played Haley 3 a lot and someone who's just started playing, because there's so many things going on. The good Haley 3 players, everything's muscle memory, they can do it very quickly. The other ones take so much time thinking about through, they just clock themselves.
Here, my cloud
there, exactly.
It's going to be there. Should I put my Nico there or behind it or next to it? Where it's incorporeal, I don't care so much, but I'm not sure.
Just to answer, so we've got Lurch UK as said, what spells are up from Axis. Now unfortunately we blue screened to death while that was happening, but we can see a Razor War, which is obviously going to be a pain for the Banes. And I would imagine, looking at his upkeeps, I can't imagine Onslaught being of much use for this terrain, because you've got hills and you've got obstacles. You've got a bit of rubble at the bottom, but the drones are obviously just floating through that. So I can't see him having Onslaught up. So really, you probably, maybe Unstoppable Force might be on Axis. And Iron Aggression will probably be on one of the jacks, but I can't see a token. So it might be one of the top jacks. It doesn't look like there's a token next to the one at the bottom. But I can't see why he wouldn't have Iron Aggression out already.
Looks like Ryan is trying to position Narc node. I think.
Okay, so that is going to be for blinding the
absolutely,
taps.
which is the dreaded thing for battle engines.
Yes.
It's like if you're blinded, there's
he gets
nothing
a
you can
crit,
do. That's it.
We'll see from the expressions on the face. If he gets a crit, then it's good times for Ryan, because the amount of damage reduction he's getting off that would be massive. So that node's in place. First which comes up.
So the thing with the Coven is that it's automatically boosted as long as you have a nice triangle.
Yep.
But it's not that complicated to do a nice triangle. We can see the die, like it's
didn't look
dark
like it
blue
was
over. I think there was a rough damage. Nothing. Oh, it's blinded.
It is blind. Yeah, so we got the crit blind.
Awesome.
So that's really sad times for that TP, because it's not going to get to do anything.
And there's another roll here. I think it's actually maybe. Oh,
Has he blinded both?
yes.
He has blinded both.
This is a
That
big
is a
change. You know what?
big
I think it's
swing for
actually
Ryan.
worth it for the Coven players not to do anything with the spells and be like, you know what? I'm gonna have 3 chances at this. I have it's automatically boosted. I have 40-ish% chance to do it every time. I have 3 chances on doing so. This happened twice here.
Yes.
But
I mean, that's not. It's one of those where you'd expect one of them to be blinded.
and
The other one,
and be fine with it.
Yeah,
and already,
it'll happen less times than it does. The two going off, but obviously, you know, Ryan's at this point in the game where he's like, he needs to do it. You know, there's no chance where he goes, oh, it's probably not going to happen. I won't risk the node. He needs that ability to shut them down. So now all he has to play around is the counter charges.
And so it's basically for now, like basically, the Cyrus player is down 38 points
Yes.
of stuff that he could do on his side for next turn. He can move the battle engine, fine, okay.
Yep.
That's okay, cool. You have
But
like
the
I don't
problem
know,
there is
5 speed, yeah,
If
whatever.
he can't move it forward, if he moves it back, he's giving up scenario, and there's an army
if
of
we're gonna
Banes
stay
coming
there,
out.
and if he tries to shoot with him, it's actually no, he's gonna be able to shoot with him because
Yep.
it's just
No.
straight up. You cannot shoot, so that's it. So he's gonna be able to put like maybe some of those balls somewhere to contest or annoying people, but that's pretty much
I mean,
it.
those balls are obviously extra shield guards for all those Cryx guns.
Yes, so many guns. So many guns.
So yeah, so that was critical for Ryan. So what he needs to do now is make sure that he takes advantage of that. So we're going to see obviously a trade of feats. I don't think Ryan didn't feat last turn, so I imagine he's going to feat this turn. You'll probably then see. Just wondering. We need to see whether either of them are feated. But basically, their feats kind of trade well. Being not able to charge on all those Banes is kind of sad for the Banes, especially being that you've got all the counter charge in place. One of the things just to be aware of as well, the way it's positioned, I don't think Ryan's going to be able to take advantage of it because everything's basically in a line. But while the Witch Coven's feet is up, if he is at that 6-inch mark, even though the counter charge triggers, because it triggers when an opponent is in 6 inches of you, you can't see them to charge them.
So, but I'm thinking that, you know, maybe Axis with this feat and the +2 speed might be able to get something in walking distance. So it's basically if you have a jack with reach, it's going to be 8 inches. So
I think that's what he's just measured. He's measuring the 10, so this must be the 10. That
isn't he going to
he's
give up
gonna
like,
feat.
you know, points of snipe? Oh no, it's the rider on the bottom.
Yeah.
Bane Rider is just stowing the zone very, very lightly. So
We've got Tartarus is taking his position as the Bane flag holder. Basically, if you see a flag on the board, Tartarus will be there. I think he wanted to be a standard bearer, but has not been allowed to. So he also gives veteran leader to those cavalry, which is the accuracy of those cavalry is insane when they're mat 8 and 3 dice to hit. You just don't.
you can actually. You're pretty sure that when you have to impact attack into those balls, it's gonna hit.
Yes.
And so you're gonna be able to get your charge target afterwards.
Wraith Engine, I think it'll be interesting what he does with the Wraith Engine here, because although you've got the jacks on each flank, so the Wraith Engine does have to be afraid. If he can keep it out of the threat of the heavy jacks, I think it's pretty much can run the table. I'm just wondering what is Ryan putting towards the opponent's flag. I can't see anything on there just yet. Should we go get a first update from the other tables?
Yeah.
And we'll go off and see how it's going. I'll try and spot while I'm there. I'll try and see where the upkeeps are for access as well. So we'll see how that's going.
Ça passe bien, très bien.
Ouais, combien quoi? On est quoi, 2-0?
Ah non, on est à 0-0, il y a 0 je viens de regarder 4 parties. On est solide quoi.
Okay. Sorry guys, I'm getting also information from the French coach, which is telling me that one of the French team, it's not the one of the streams, the other one seems to be in a good position, but it seems to be, and of course is completely biased. And the other game that you guys can see on the stream, I'm trying to get a glimpse at all those games, and I have no clue at all what's going on. Seems to be kind of the beginning, and a lot of things have moved so much. I can just tell you there's an Elemental Rex that charge a storm wall. That's pretty much it. So on our end, I guess Ryan is precisely positioning his models, and it's probably going to be a fit turn now, just to make sure he can get the most of it. It's going to be easy for the Coven to actually get most, if not the entire Cyrus Army under the feet, as it has a 19-inch feet like area. It's pretty crazy. That's probably what he's trying to measure right now. This is. Yeah, it's just, if it's there onto the hill, that's it. The ball is just like sitting there and be like, nah, you guys cannot do anything. So the combination of double blind and now the possibility to feed, it's just gonna, just gonna say to Niklas, hey, you know what? Next turn, there's nothing you can do. I'm just gonna do my thing, and that's it. And Chris is back. Chris.
I thought, seeing as technology is failing us,
what's happening? Everything
I would
is...
try. I've taken photos of the tables.
You want to try to show them on the camera? So this is a photo of a feed, of a picture. Yeah, it's
a bit small, isn't
it?
Okay, well, I can at least talk about it anyway. So we have, from what I can tell, just from the earlier question as well, I couldn't see either Onslaught or Iron Aggression up on Axis. Whether he was just camping the focus previous turns to stop any crazy assassination runs. But I couldn't see any tokens there, so it looks like Razor Wall is the only spell he's got currently. And he wasn't looking happy. That double blind must have been a blow to any plans he's got. On the next table along, we have it's kind of funny actually. I don't know whether this is something that they've discussed, but you can see we've got Richard with his Cova list, and again that is just spread the entire board edge. We've got one cavalry basically on one edge of the board, and then we've got the jacks and everything that spreads the other side of the board.
Something failed, it's fine.
It's okay. So that, I kind of feel that, especially against like horde armies where they're kind of more centralized, they have to keep the beasts within a certain threat range. That might not be as good against Serenum Riders because I think they've obviously got their extended. They're able to threat between them, but you can see there the amount of distance. Sorry, you can see it on the picture, but we can see there's a big distance between where the beasts are, but where everything else is, and because the units are more independent, they are able to sort of flank that wide. So, I mean, it's a bit early to tell what's going on. There's basically a massive bunker behind with Zakova. Behind 2 units of Iron Fine Pikemen. The jacks are flanking those. Then we've got a bit of spread in the middle, and then the cavalry on the far side. So
we have a question. How do you think the matchups went overall? Our England favor, do you think? So
okay,
we actually
so
every game, Chris and I are choosing our favorites,
Yep.
and then we don't really look at which country it is. I mean, he this turn he probably did because it's England, so right?
yeah.
And so we look at that and we say, okay, I think this matchup is going to go this way. I think this matchup is going to go this way.
We're doing all right. So out of 15 games, I predicted 12 correctly, and you predicted 9 correctly. So it wasn't
completely off, but yeah,
pretty good. You can at least
So
we're nearly there.
if we were to look at what we chose here,
so we've picked it. Both agreed on an England win. This one split. So we've both agreed on 2 England wins and 1 Sweden win. And then we've had a bit of a disagreement on the Pat and so the Dreamer, Menoth and Zakova won a Legion game. So they could go either way. So really, you're kind of actually having a look. So you're on the 3-2 to England, and I'm on 4-1 to. Sorry, you're on a 3-2 to Sweden, and I'm on 4-1 to England.
Okay, so I did favor. Okay, wait. It's 1-2.
Yes, so they would have got the flag, and he would have got his own zone, both contests. So he would have just got his own flag. Yeah, so and this is the scary point as well. If you look, so this has now gone over to Ryan. Now, obviously, I'd imagine a point ahead doesn't seem like a lot, but when you only need 4 on this live of scenario.
So did he just pick one of the English models and moved it forward?
I didn't see that. What happened?
I don't know. The Bane Rider at the bottom. I wasn't much. It was slightly. I don't know.
You mean this guy at the bottom?
Yeah.
No, he was in the zone at the bottom.
I don't know. I'm sure Never mind. We'll see. If it is this moment where the Swedish player is like, oh, I can actually hit it, and Ryan was like, no, I was sure I put it outside. We can have an argument and probably roll back to tape. Let's see.
It's your choice to make. I like it.
So let's just have a gander. So Nicholas scored on his own flag. So he's got his flag right at the top, which I'm sure there will be one of his drones touching because they're all solos.
And it's so easy to get just one of your drones touching.
And when he's probably got some Reflex Servitors in there as well, and the counter charging jacks nearby, you probably don't want to just run. Because if he runs a Bane up within 4, that will get him into threat range. Although that might be a Bane at the top, so where did Nicholas score? Maybe he's not within. Maybe when they looked at it, he realised that if he got within 4, that would have caused a counter charge, which then just gives additional threat to the heavy. Subsequently,
yeah, he did move it.
Oh. Not sure on the measurements at the top. It looks like it might be out
because it is actually, it just scored 1 here. Maybe we can have somebody to check on the score. No, but I'm pretty sure it's 2-0 probably.
Yeah, maybe it is 0. I can definitely see 2. So we'll change that to 0. Maybe it isn't. It does look like a big 4
probably
inches
gonna change back right afterwards. Okay, we're used to this. So,
but yes, the pig babe is near. We're just confirming from AY2D. He says Bane Warrior, so I can only imagine that's the little pig in armor.
So, back to the question to Miso82. There's a big swing for 1 to 2, 3. What if you decide the Zarkova? Okay. The Zarkova against a Dreamer game?
Yes, so they're the ones that we can't agree on. We're kind
Absolutely.
of happy that we think that. We think Haley's going to have that final table against Karchev. I'll go through actually the updates. We think Ostrom's going to take the middle table, and we're pretty confident that Coven, especially now they've got the double blind, is probably going to pull out this game. So at that point, England are a 2-1 ahead. On games, we feel pretty confident predicting those. Especially now it is 2-0 to Ryan as well. So being 2 ahead on this kind of scenario, with Coven, with host,
and the Swedish player will not be able to do so much this turn. He can just basically run as he cannot see the enemy list.
So he's going to have to run and contest, try not to give away as much of his army as possible, but he has to actually contest with enough stuff that Ryan doesn't just kill it and score and win. That's the crux of it. If you put too little in, they just kill it all. and score again. Then win scenario, if you put too much in, then they'll just grind through too much of your army, and then you won't lose the scenario, but then you'll eventually lose on attrition.
Yep.
That is the problem with the screen right now. I'm just checking we've not frozen, or are they just really still?
I think they're really still.
Oh yeah, it's really still. Okay. Wow, that guy is like frozen still when he doesn't move. So just to go through those are the matchups. So at the moment it's a bit early on the Zakova matchup to really call it, because they're just, all we can see is Zakova is just completely spread across the board, ready to flank, and then as we said, the Legion player is kind of balled centrally. Whether that gives Khador an advantage in the scenario, being that it can be quite wide, I don't know, but we'll keep an update on that one to see. The pack game, it's as I kind of thought it would be. So what he's done is he has led the way between the gap. He's actually led the way with 2 Cage Ragers next to each other, next to the scenery, which means that those Skinnamones, which aren't currently high enough armor to really take those guns, are able to hide behind. He's got those Krabbits again just to take any damage that he needs, and then the Death Knell is behind that. So it's this kind of like pain train.
It's a quick question. So if a Krabbit dies, does it give the corpse a Death Knell?
It does.
So Death Knell is
every single model is living, even a Gremlin Swarm is living.
So then the Death Knell is able to give those corpses back to the Skin and Bones, and this is how they build their...
That is how they build it, yeah. So all he needs is 4 corpses from whatever source, and then both of those Skin and Bones are full. Once that happens, what the Skin and Bones can do is if they take damage, they can eat a corpse to heal themselves, and then kill something and get it back. We can see there was a contesting Gremlin Swarm, but as we looked at earlier, that Gremlin Swarm was killed just as I came over. So yes, Pat's able to contest the zones, but Resnick has the tools ready to just kill those Gremlin Swarms in return. But it'll only be 1 per turn because of Roving. That's the key. He's got all the tools, but it still comes down to the stealth because they are annoying. And also we can see that there is a Gremlin Swarm in the flag, near the flag. So we'll see how that goes.
Where is the Dreamer?
The Dreamer she's not in the Artifice, she is just behind that.
Okay, because I when I faced that list once, I mean it wasn't this exact list when I faced a Dreamer, and there was actually I faced a list where there was 2 Cage Ragers and 3 Cage Ragers and 2 Skin and Bones. Yeah. And I realized that my only way of being able to get through, because there would be so much armor and boxes to go through, it was just to try to hit the Dreamer. And I was thinking that maybe with those Redeemers, if I remember well, they have Arcane Fire with it. So that could be a way of making sure that you chip enough damage on those War Beasts. It's just target the caster instead of targeting the War Beasts. They're going to be almost 21 or 19 or around that. So if you eat the Dreamer, which is going to be with the +2 from Death Knell, is what, 16?
The problem with that is just the volume of Krabbits, and if she wants if she wants to be, she can be in
Incorporeal.
Incorporeal.
But it doesn't matter
in
because
cover.
it's Resnick 2. Resnick 2 is just going to say...
True, but in cover.
But cover isn't going to work.
It's not at the moment. Obviously, Pat doesn't feel that the guns are going to have range, so he's not spent the Fury to put it down. But yeah, there is that. Because even at that point, the Cage Rangers go to Death 14, which... That is then boosting territory, which means that certain things you have to boost, so you might not be able to have to focus to actually boost both damage and hit. So then that's 1 less dice of damage. So all these factors can come in, and then the Skin and Bones at that point, if they've got their tokens, they're Def 17 and they're armor 21. You're not really doing much to them. So just to go on to the Menoth game. So this is kind of. It's just an absolute mass. There's a heavy already been taken off. There's a few daughters been taken off from one of the cavalry. But other than that, there is just Menoth enveloping this dwarven battle engine in the center and all the dwarves around it. So it's kind of how we expected it to go. A couple of things have gone. One of the heavies have gone, which is the harder thing to protect. And then there are just Menoth models flying in from all sides. One thing I will note is those armored dwarves, we can see that they've actually been pulled back a bit because they are just not going to do anything against that Menoth army. They're just going to auto-point them down. So really it's going to be about how the Austrian player uses those jacks as bunkers to keep them off while he can then counter-charge. So that one will be interesting.
I guess the answer is going to be like the Austrian player, as long as it doesn't do anything too drastic or too risky, it's just going to be able to sit there and be like, I should.
He is now that rock face when offers just crashed against it, he just needs to stay firm. If he spreads out too much, if he gives any cracks for those daughters to go in through, and to get charges through. I mean, obviously they've all got parry, they've all got acrobatics, they can just get in, but you know, he's got to make sure that he keeps things like landing zones protected, all that kind of thing. So be interesting to see how that one goes. And then the Olav with his jacks. There is a sea of red jacks just flying up towards Haley. They're already so about that halfway mark. They're all quite well spaced out as well, I noticed, and I think that's because you can't group them too much because of things like Force Hammer, just knocking a bunch of them down.
True.
Although he's got Jumpstart, that forces Karchev to go first, and that's one less focused. So, although yes, he doesn't have an answer to stationary and knockdown, it still causes a problem in order of activation and focus allocation. So that one, it's a bit too early. Most of the Haley stuff still seems to be alive, and I can't see any dead jacks, so we're a bit early on that one. Okay, so that is the update there.
So, a couple of questions in the chat.
Couple of questions,
Oh,
let's
has
go
there
back.
been overall? A lot of drinking late nights. So the event has been great.
Yep.
There was the first night. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Has
wow!
won
We just
scenario
got
5-0.
Pat has
Okay.
won scenario 5-0. Let's go back to that picture and have a look. So I'm correct on that one with Dreamer. You can never,
Yeah, but
never
I
say no to Papa. Let's have a look. Oh, my thumbprint is no longer recognised, thus delaying us getting into the phone there. So if we look at that photo.
Well, I was going to be looking at it, so I don't know.
Okay, so let's have a look. Ah, right, so you can see what's happened there. There is, he is central, he's scoring on his flag, he's got nothing, none of the Menoth stuff is anywhere nearby, most of the Menoth stuff is out of the zone, so at the time that we saw that he killed that Gremlin Swarm, it looks like there was only one Jack in his own zone, and then nothing else, that was it, yeah, one Jack in his own zone and a Battle Engine on a flag. So obviously that's not scoring the flag.
No.
So at that point, if the Dreamer, Manifest Destiny, if he's managed to kill that Battle Engine and run a Gremlin Swarm to that flag, all he had to do at that point is kill one Jack, run a Dingo, like a Garlghast or a Rattler into that far zone, and score his own zone.
And that's it.
And that's 5-0 and done. So that's, I mean, this is exactly what we said. With the Coven game as well, it's quite similar. Although the Axis player has actually realised this and he's just thrown things into the zone because it's a case of yes, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you'll just lose 5-0 if you don't. So yes, so it looks like Pat has won. Judging by the Facebook, there were lots of drunken shenanigans last night. That's my beautiful fiance there. Asking that one. I can admit that the team lines being on 3-0, and I imagine that all the 3-0 teams did have an earlier night.
Yes, basically, I remember for the French team at 10:15, one of the team captains said, "Okay, guys, let's get to our chamber, to our rooms."
Yeah. So cups of tea
And,
were had.
and some of the team members were like, "What?
Yeah, there was some beers.
No way."
Yeah. So basically, what we saw is the teams. So I did see Australia. There was some of the crew involved in the big pyramid. So these are the standard things. You generally have like the Welsh. That was it. Welsh. I think Australians, New Zealanders, all were in drinking games.
I haven't looked.
So yeah. So that means there's always some good drink to be had. It's a really nice venue as well. So there's so many people here as well. So it's a really good event. It turns out they actually have arranged this year. There was a +1 thing been arranged. So basically, a lot of the teams, so like the Americans and things like that, they'll bring their SOs over for a holiday as well as this. So what will happen is when they obviously come to play here, they'll go out to go see the various places. So I believe there was that was arranged for yesterday. So it seems really good event.
It's a really good event. Aside from the small issues in the first, the food on the first night.
Yes, I think they've kind of they've realised that 600 people is actually 600 people now, as opposed to
two food trucks might not be enough.
two food trucks for 600 people, especially when they're cooking the food when you get to them, not having pre-cooked food ready. But other than that, no, it's been really good, really good. The hotel staff have been a bit panicked, though, I must admit. Whenever you walk past them, they all seem like bits of hair starting to come out. So, yeah, I'm not sure they realised when it was booked that how many people it would actually include. So, let's have a look how this game's progressing. So, we're on round 3, or... Yeah, we're on round 3. Looks like we got one for the Convergence player. Got 1 point.
Is it done?
Yeah, it's up at the top. So he's killed that Bane that was causing the problem. So
here.
he scored on his own flag.
And he was able to contest.
And then he's contested down here at this flag.
Okay, so it's 2-1.
Looks like it. I can't see. It looks like it's still 2-1. And turn 3.
Well, if it's not, I guess the chat is going.
Good morning, PJ.
Two.
By the way, the thing that you can see just at the top is this thing. I'll put it in. These are all given to the players, and they are fantastic. So you got your turns in the middle, and then your control points either side. So for those out there that are kind of having that confusion at the moment, the game, remembering what turn it's on, remembering what the CPs are, because they're having like 4 dice recording them. If you get yourself a bit of paper or something, and just put that layout on your page.
It's on top here. So what we're trying to see here, I feel there's like 3 boxes that has been marked.
So turn 3 or round 3. 2, it's either 2 or 3. I think
I can try to look at it, but so we're going to crash the whole thing.
Yeah, let's not mess with the camera while it's going.
Hello. Good.
Pat has come over, and we will interview the winning captain. So go make your team win, and then you can come have a chat. So Pat's just come over for a quick high five there, and I've incentivized him for a chat with you lovely people at the end if the team wins. So he's going to go and make sure all the team are happy. Let's have a look for. Actually, seeing as it's quiet, should we get him over to have a talk about that Dreamer game? Should we get Pat over to talk about the Dreamer game?
Oh, do you think anything interesting is going to happen into the Coven game? I kind of feel. Well, Ryan might have some interesting things to do here.
Okay.
You know,
we'll get him at the
trying
end
to find a way.
if he wins.
I don't think he's going to get enough. Yeah, I don't think if Ryan is going to be able to put enough, power into this jack to remove him.
So let's have a look. So he's 1 up, and it's his turn. So he's obviously going to be able to clear off his own flag. So that's 1 point. He's probably going to be able to kill whatever drone has been put into his own zone for a second. So the question is, he can contest, which is fine. So that's only going to put him 2 ahead. So 2 up, which is only going to be 3 ahead. So I don't think, with the amount of models that are in the zone, he's not going to be able to score and win this turn.
The other thing,
because he'd need 4 points and
this
to
turn is
contest
going to be
the
complicated, but the only thing, the big thing I see right now is he going to be able to blind those 2 taps again?
Yeah.
If it does, I'm pretty confident that it's pretty much going to be not in the bag, but he's going to be able to get this clear advantage.
Yeah.
And that will be good for him. If not, well, sprays everywhere.
Yeah.
Justice nowhere.
I suppose at that point, it depends what dies, because if he gets to the point where he kills everything bar the taps, and the Coven is safe, yes, he might not blind them, but they can do some damage. I'm not going to lie about that. We all know they can do some damage. I don't think they're going to be able to kill a largely untouched host army. Yeah, I think it will depend on how much Ryan wipes out this turn, because he's now got the scenario up. Will that also mean, because he's not got any way of he's not got an axiom, so he can't generate the servitors to just keep running them out to contest. So if he starts running out of drones, you can see there up by the clock on the left hand side there is a drone, which I would not be surprised if that was 12 inches exactly away from the rectangular zone in Ryan's side. So that's just a future contesting model. So you can just see for the WTC players, they're already thinking turns ahead on how everything's going. Got one of the German players come over. We all right?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. Are you finished?
It's
No,
not
I'm playing Silver Brothers. I'm
Alternate player. We have the German alternate player. Are you feeling confident this round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, feeling confident.
Okay.
Poor Quentin. Quentin is not happy if the Germans feel incompetent this round.
I hope
We want to see
get
the
at
French on
least-
the stream. We need the French to win.
I hope to get at least one of the French team to go into the next round. That would be great. And but seriously, if next round I don't get to stream a French team, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Just go up and yell at the judge crew. So hang on, we've got. I wish Ryan had dropped. Yes, just to confirm, yes, Pat has won 5-0 on scenario. He's currently having me under, making sure his team wins, so he can come over and have a chat with us.
He's whipping them.
He's whipping them. So that's one. That's already one, and that's actually one of our contentious. So actually, looking at that,
It's one of our contentious bets. I remember saying I want to go with Resnick too because I like these big models.
I'm just thinking from that, if Coven win, which I mean it's not a done deal, but it's the double blind can obviously only help. The Austrian win would give Sweden 1, and if Haley 3 wins, and Pat already has, that would be 3-1 to
and that would be
England.
Yeah.
So the Zakova game would be neither here nor there, but that does mean potentially the one that we weren't too sure on. That means that that means that really Rich is that kind of like if something goes wrong. So yeah. So I mean, I think it's looking good for the England team. It can all go wrong. Dice can fall over. It's not good at all. Oh, we just got a counter charge check here. So it's gone back over to. Nope, he hasn't gone to do it. So this is something that I've seen people do, and I have actually played against some people where you can use that as your clock advantage. Because if you ask them if they want to check for counter charge, and then they have a check, and then they'll do measurements, and then they'll decide no.
And then they lose 20 seconds.
And then they use 20 seconds, and then every time you move a model, it's up to them if they want to counter charge.
Is that one of the things happening actually? Because I can see like those the small servitors are here and there in the UR, and it's pretty easy to set up like one of those heavier jacks just to be behind it. And so, if Ryan wants to clear those balls of metal, he's probably gonna open himself to a counter charge that might be have him losing a Bane Rider or something that is critical to finish this game. Because for now, as long as there's an Inverter in the back and those 2 taps, Ryan is going to need those Bane Riders to get the range and the power to actually get rid of him. So
it looks like he's got a Galvanizer in contesting range as well on his own flag. Let's have a look. Oh, SO. Yes, that's significant other. Sorry, partners and wives and the like. So we've got PJPF, Zirk1, is that Rich? Yes, that is Richard Beach with Zakova 1. Only one of 2 Zakova 1s in the game, in the tournament, and the other one is on the other England team as well. So
really?
Yeah, it seems Zakova 1 is an English thing.
This is the special tech, English tech.
A special English tech, yeah.
The thing that's going to be in the US in a couple of months.
Maybe. To be fair, that's how it works, isn't it? If somehow England Lions win, suddenly these become the best KDO lists. That's how the internet works, isn't it?
I guess everybody's going to be rushing on those WTC lists.
Everyone be
I
out
want to
there.
play this, I want to play that. And they're not going to realize those lists are mainly made for team tournaments. So if you try to copy the exact same pairings, there's a good chance that you're going to get, unless you're copying like Ghost Flick, Dark Host. But most of those lists are made, for a situation for team tournaments. So they are trying to answer a specific problem that might be
in this case, I know that the Zakova list that he's using is a standard list that he's taken to many tournaments. But the Sorcerer 2, I believe, was actually developed for looking at Cryx and things like that. So it's one of those where in a normal tournament, I think it's one of those things where here, yes, they're going to be good lists. Yes, on their own, you can use them in tournaments. That's fine. Don't take away that they're bad lists, because they still have to be good lists to work in the even games. What you will find though is if it comes down that in one of the teams, their KDO player says, "Look, I literally don't want to see Signar. I just don't want to see Signar. I can't beat Signar. If you make sure I'm into Signar, I can take these 2 pair, which are amazing, into the rest of the field." So in that case, they may look a great pair, they may be really good, and you may take them to your next steamroller, come against Signar, and then be like, which one of these lists do they use into Signar? And it turns out neither, because they always made sure that they never met Signar along the way. Also, the other thing to take from the internet, which is obviously important, which people forget, is that how the lists are used. Now, all these games are being recorded, so you'll be able to actually look and view it. But like some of these, like Zakoba 1, like I played Zakoba 1 at the start of Mark 3 before any themes came around. She is such a complicated caster. She reminds me kind of Grimkin slightly, in that to get the most out of her, you have to be very aggressive. Zakoba has to be right up the field,
and she
enveloping with everything with her feet. But then, post that turn, I mean, you have to make sure, obviously, things can't get to her. She's pretty much invulnerable that turn, with no spells, no shooting, all that kind of stuff. But, you then have to back her up, and then she is the weak point, I think, in that list. She is there to make sure everything else does its job, but then you have to keep her safe and keep her doing work, because also she's the only sort of source of magic in that list as well. So, yeah, it's a complicated list. It's the same with a lot of these lists. You look at them, and the first time you play them, you'll be like, oh, this is awful, I've no idea how this works. And it might be that it is just teched for a specific matchup, or that they've just played it loads. You get a lot of that as well, where people will be like, oh, I was going to think of something specific, but I've played this list 100 times plus, and I know it's not a great matchup, but I've played that matchup many times, so I know how to get around it, which your opponent might not. So someone just asked how Norbert is getting along. He's currently into Alara 2 at the moment, so England Knights. They are also 3-0 at the moment, so there's 2 England teams on 3-0, there's 2 French teams on 3-0, one German, one Switzerland, and one Sweden. Yeah, Swiss chocolate. And Sweden. So it is a European. It's just
European quarterfinal.
Yeah, basically. European quarterfinal. So we will have a European victor. So if you want to go onto your Facebook forums and just let everyone know that the Europeans obviously know how to war machine harder, feel free. But here, so there's not been any results put in just yet. But here we're currently 1-0 up with the result from Pat Dunford into.
Was there a double blind again? See, we're talking, and we're missing the big things are happening right in front of us.
I think the Swedish player might just go home after this.
Yeah,
I think he might just, so I don't know if the Swedes have an alternate.
Yeah, set up his thing as best as he can, and now he's realizing, I'm just gonna not be able to use 38 points of my army.
Yeah, we were kind of into the. It was kind of something. I'm trying to think. Obviously, this game's going to finish if Ryan does win, which I kind of feel is in his favour. Will this be one of those where you say, "Oh, they got the double blind off twice. That's the reason why he won." Let's say he didn't get the blind. Do you think that's going to change the result? So if one of those steps is operational, do you really think at this point?
If those steps were operational, the thing I would do is I would move them a bit more forward, just to they have more center, position on the board. But right now I wouldn't change that much because Ryan is so much on the sides.
Yeah.
So I would move them forward for sure, but just in a sense that I'm going to use them next turn. And the thing is that Cyrus player hasn't moved them at all. There's one in the center zone saying, okay, this is not going to move.
And there's one touch in the bottom zone.
In the bottom, so it's not going to move as well. So it's probably using those as anchors, probably, just to make sure that those things are not going to move. They're going to be there, and everything that's going to be within 10 inches is going to die. Banes, Warriors, they don't have more than 10-inch threats. So if they want to get to those steps, they're going to have to be into this threat range first, and then be able to charge those battle engines, and they're not even going to be able to touch the battle engines because of all those pesky servitors going to be just in front of them. So it's really complicated. So what I was saying, it's really down to those Bane Riders, and Ryan has to be very clever at how he's going to position them whenever he's charging, repositioning them, not to trigger all those counter charges, because every time he's going to lose one of those models. In the following turns, it's going to be complicated for him to be able to get rid of those.
Okay, so it looks like we've got a Bane Rider that's advancing up. So what he's doing here is he's engaging them, which will, and then what I would imagine, which I've seen here, is that Bane Rider is, the rest of the Bane Riders are going to advance up to keep him in command, but what they're going to wait for is the fact that that one model is obviously going to be a pain, it's going to jam things up, you're going to have to kill it to get rid of it, and then that's going to give vengeance to the rest of the unit. And we got a charge of this one maybe?
Impact.
Yeah, so he's charged impact
Oh,
into
did
that
he
drone,
kill
and
it?
it looks like
No.
he missed. It looks
Whoops.
like he didn't kill it.
This
Sad
is
face for Ryan.
This is really sad. What's the defense on the 12?
12, yeah.
12?
So
5.
So it must
You
have,
can
I mean,
miss
it's doable. It's doable. 5's definitely missable.
Because Tartarus was on the other side, holding his flag.
Yeah.
But it's back on Giant though, he hasn't moved yet.
Yeah. So looking at it, yes. So we kind of think this one's going well. It's one of those things where, like I was saying, if there were no blinds this game, would the excuse be like, oh, there's no blinds this game, that kind of thing. I kind of think that, if he's able to blind one of the taps per turn, so let's just say, quite reliably, blinds one with three attempts, blinding one's not going to be too difficult. I think that's enough. I think that's enough for this list. I don't play the Convergence, so I
The
don't
thing
know.
right now is that Ryan is probably going to score 2 and not allowing his opponent to score this turn. So he's going to go up to 4-1. Next turn, what is his opponent going to do? He's going to try to contest again, otherwise he's going to be losing.
Yep.
And then Ryan he still has Bane Riders, he still has he still has the Wraith Engine, he still has Tartarus, he still has the Coven that could actually, even put more, slinging some spells to make sure that some of those servitors just die.
Yep.
Because even if they're engaged, I mean, they go up to defense 16, but they're 9 and it's automatically boosted. So they're in the 7 and 3. Yeah. It's you can make it happen, and if you miss, you can make it happen twice afterwards again. So it's not even that
And
much
also,
of a problem. So
the other side to it as well is just with those Stygian Abysses is that as soon as one blinds, then you can stop. You can start doing other things. You know, it's the option is all there for Ryan. So that goes
they are
back
scoring
over.
2 more. Let's see.
So let's have a look.
1, 2, 3, 4. What? No, I think it was scoring. So it was
5-6.
nah. It was. I think
It can't be 6-1. 5-1. Because if it's 6-1,
it's
won.
over.
But
But I don't see any way for Ryan to have scored on the bottom zone. So it's really, I think it's just 2 on the top, and then he put 1 in the middle here, and that's it.
Yeah, it must be.
What do you think, Chad? 19 minutes.
No, I think they're just saying.
Yeah, but it should be fine.
Yeah, that's enough for Ryan. Like we said at the start, one of the things with this list with Coven is that you have to. It's one of those games where it never expects to go past turn 5. You know, you're never going to go past turn 5 with a Coven list. You're going to be doing. You're generally winning on scenario before that, so you can take the longer turns. You can do more. Take more time to make sure that those first few turns are done really well.
You know what I'm realizing right now is that every player we've seen that has been on the right side of the board, they always had a big advantage with this big obstruction here. Because he was always protecting some kind of key element of the scenario and always allowed the player on the right to win. So maybe for the next rounds, do you think it's fair to ask to have this piece changed or moved?
No. The one thing that we say, and they were saying it at the beginning, that they want terrain to be a decision, because one part of the pairings is that the one side gets the matchups, the other side gets to pick the tables. So if you have a table like this where it's pretty open, except for that one obstruction and the one wall, they can be like, okay, so I've got this list, I need to shoot, or I've got ghostly, those kind of things. I'm going to go on this table.
I've heard some of the players yesterday evening. You were kind of complaining about the fact that some of the turn pieces seem very big.
I understand. I kind of understand what they're saying in that the terrain pieces seem very big. But on the other hand, these are meant to be the best players in the world for each of their country.
That is true. So they should know.
So if they're playing, they should know. And I've heard this complaint before. So these people have been to WTCs before. They brought out a pack. They brought out a pack for download before it came out. If you're coming to an event where all the metas in the world are coming together. So it might be in Australia, they've got smaller zones. I'd imagine a lot of people are very much dictated by things they can buy. So use on many zones, other company zones, things like that, and terrain. But at the end of the day, you're meant to be the best in your country because you can adapt. And if a terrain piece is an extra inch big, and that means world's over, it's like, really, should you be on the WTC team? if literally an extra inch long wall on a wall, or 2 inches on a wall, completely throws your plans awry, I think your plans were probably a bit naff to begin with.
You're right.
So, yeah. Yeah, so Axis is coming up, it looks like. It's a bit of a Mexican standard. It is, it's a Mexican standard. But as we said, Brian is playing this really well because Axis has to come right into the middle to try and catch everything. He's still not going to catch everything. You know, so you're still going to have some of the things for the back. Like he won't catch the witches, and I think that might be, that is the Greg or Egregor, or Greg as we call him.
Massive ball of
Greg Regor.
Greg, the gore.
So yeah, so the ball's back there. So yeah, I mean, is that going to expose him too much coming up? I don't know. Possibly. I think next turn we're going to see a bit more of shifting from Ryan, a bit more jamming, maybe score 1 or 2 points again. But it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, he can clear and get his own flag, and he's got a servitor nearby that can claim it. He's got 2, so one is obviously going to go into contest,
And the other one is going to tow the flag.
and the other one will tow the flag to get him a point. Or I mean, he should do if he doesn't.
By the way, how did the small things that are being blocked by the battle engine? Are those, could those take the flags as well? You should get one of the battle engines like close to these flags, and you can say, okay, I'm going to top one servitor here.
Yeah, there's solos. I'm pretty sure there's solos.
This is endless. Oh wait, maybe the. Oh yeah, the arc node that has been blinding those steps. I think it's going
finally
down right
died.
now. I see.
Revenge has been had.
Something is happening, and there's dice being rolled.
Right, what I will do in that case is I will leave you to keep an eye on this. I will go see how those other games are going because they're probably going to be in the meat of it by now. So I will be back soon.
Cool. Ça va comment pour le reste?
Pour l'instant, on a 4 games qui sont dedans, on a une game de gagner logiquement. Et je pense qu'on va en avoir une deuxième, et la troisième, on va un peu galérer, sachant que Jean-Loup a voulu faire un KTC qui a fait une erreur, donc là on passe d'un 40% à un 20%.
Okay.
Là, il va tenter, mais s'il a réussi.
So guys, I'm updating the status on the other French team, So, guys, you still see the stream because it seems to have... It's frozen for some reason. It's working on our end, so... Well, it seems to be working. Okay, it's working. Okay, it was... Okay, fine, thank you. Just let me check.
So, how things are going.
So, right now is still 1 up for England?
Yep, still only 1 victory. So what's happened on these Coven tables? So it looks like things have started to envelop. It is currently 2-0 to Saren player. That makes me very confused because there's definitely a jack in that zone.
You mean here? I think it's behind.
It's very strange. I'm not sure how how it's not going to be. Yeah, obviously it must have been a bit of a misplacement there from Rich not scoring that point. And then you've got the central bunker. It looks like a lot of pikemen have died from the 1 unit. Looks about half of them have gone. And then you've got the Black Fang pikemen that are trying to charge into the opposing zone. So it looks like basically Rich has made a play for the opposite side's rectangular zone. Both of the thrones are there as well though, but with the clouds, it looks like it's making it a bit difficult for them to engage, and it is 2 heavies over that side as well. On the left side though, you've got the knights are surrounding the battle group, but most of the beasts, I can't see many dead beasts, so it looks like this one's they seem to be dancing around each other.
So I see like on the picture you've taken, the Legion player is getting his throne of the blight in his mighty hands.
Yes.
Do you think this is the kind of thing where it's just gonna move up kill one of those spikemen, spray, kill
Yep.
another one, spray. I don't know how many times can he?
My thought is I mean, he can keep going, but it's power 10 on that ability, isn't it? And if those pikemen are iron sealed
Oh, that's not gonna make it.
and shield wall, it might. They'll definitely. I think they'll definitely kill a few just with the direct attacks, but I'm not sure if the bounce magic spells will actually do it. So depends, and also it depends if feat has been popped already, because you can't do magic spells while in feat. So although I would imagine there probably would have been a feat already. So anyway,
His Shiny destroys 4 more play with melee attack, and he has 4 attacks. So
it's
and
4 pound 16, so he'll definitely kill them.
And
But
it's gonna go over the shield wall, right?
Yeah.
So
it's the spine burst that I'm thinking, because that's where because it's D3 additional models that get the spine burst. So I think he's definitely got the chops to get 4 kills.
and the thing is that I
how
don't know.
much
I
you
would
get
go
for
for
the
the spray power 12. Just
Oh, spray power
because
12. Yeah, actually, yeah,
Space
yeah.
power
So
12. So you know, it's just like
yeah, so we might see a lot of
free
dead black
stuff.
dragons.
Yeah.
So
they just start flying over.
The question there, though, is you've got 2 heavies. So if 2 thrones went in to kill those black dragons, yes, they're going to
they
make
would
mincemeat
be-
of them. They're
How many
then
boxes? There are almost 20 with
36 boxes.
yeah, so that might be enough to withstand an attack. They might lose one, but still have the other one. But afterwards, I think 1 throne is not going to be enough to kill those heavies anyway. But I don't think.
And it
they're
looks
gonna
like one's actually fighting the cavalry. Yeah, it looks like there's some cavalry on that side as well.
more sprays. Then.
Yeah, so that one looks like it's kind of still in the middle of it. So we're not sure which way that will go. And that is... Oh. Okay, the Austrian one. So it looks like the flank on the left-hand side has fallen for the Menoff player. The gun bunnies and stuff seem to have done it. But on the
Getting into the
right-hand
thick
side...
of it, we're being told.
Oh,
Isn't he like
oh,
right
he
in
is.
the
He's
middle?
right up
He's
there.
right in the middle. Okay, so he must have feeded.
So he's gone right in, so he can feat and catch as many as possible.
How many Cryx models he still has to remove to score in the middle zone? 1, 2, 3,
yeah.
3. That's it. Okay.
So it looks like two lights and a Bane. It looks like. So he's trying to auto point the Bane. Doesn't hit. Yeah, so just going back to that Menoth game. So it looks like the left-hand side has completely fallen for the Menoth player, but he's got models behind his opponents on the right-hand side. So there are actually daughters behind the dwarfs. Oops. So again, that one, I mean, I still think Ostrom seems to have bunkered quite well. It's just both on one flank on each side is just completely collapsed for their opponent. So it will now depend on whether the Ostrom player can keep Ostrom safe from all those riders, and if those dwarves can now relocate, keep scoring the objectives and relocate across, and we're going to have a massive clash right in the middle between those. And then the weird one I didn't notice, I believe Karchev is up 4-2 on scenario against Haley, so whether that was he just wasn't being as I suppose that's kind of going to happen with Haley 3, isn't it? Because she can't stretch out too quickly.
I mean, I guess she could, but the thing is, like, if she wants to hold a battle line against those jacks, it's gonna have to be pretty concentrated in one piece. And and I guess the current player can just be like, you know what, I just hit this 10 points jack on this side, and I'll be fine here for now. Because it's not with your POW 11, rifles that you're really gonna do anything against my jack. So
from this we can see as well there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jacks left with Karchev, and one of these jacks, he was being attacked by Thorn, has not many boxes left, we can see on the picture. So that one looks like the grind. It looks like, unless I think Karchev's play there is to try and force out the zones and try and score a scenario, because it doesn't look like attrition is going his way. Just make sure. Let's have a look. Make sure that is 4-2, not 4-3. Oh no, sorry, it is 5-3. So the same difference, just so it's 2 up on the Karchev player. So Haley needs to make sure that he doesn't give up any zones easily, so the Karchev player can scenario out. And I think that is just going to grind down. What turn was that on as well, actually? Because we've got that turn 7 finish now. Actually, that's turn 5, so he's 2 CPs ahead on turn 5. That might not be good for the Haley player. So a lot of stuff has died. That will trigger Vengeance on the
I'm
night.
on 5 as well. Now the Cyrus player is starting to play again. No?
No, I think it's still on him.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's just finishing off those advances. So he's putting a drone in a place where if Ryan wants to kill it, he's going to have to send resources off in completely the wrong direction.
So somebody's asking about England Knights, and I can tell you that James Sykes has won over Christoph Smith. So it's 1-0 for the Swiss. 1 up for the England team.
Yep.
Germany 2-0. Yes, it's right in front of us. I can see two of my
You can tell by
French
Quentin
mates
getting slightly more sad as the stream progresses.
It has going to have to come down to those things, and there's still Sasha and Robin playing, and yep, so it's pretty much going to be for the Germans this game.
Right then, so what is going on here then? So what do you think he's got? I don't think he's caught just looking at it, so we've got the 12-inch zone.
So that's the Vengeance
I don't think
move already.
he's not caught the Knights. Sorry, he's not caught the Bottom Riders.
It doesn't matter much because I mean there should be enough power here with the Vengeance and all those Banes to just clear this thing again, score one up, score one on the flag. Actually, did he score number one on the flag? Do you see anything contesting the flag down?
Nope.
So I mean, is it actually 5-1?
It does look like 5. I think I can see a cross across those.
Because if it's the case, Ryan just has to
I think it'd be 5-2.
I think it's 5-2.
Yeah.
What did he? That's it.
No,
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. The thing on the bottom doesn't seem like that's been contested. So it just
Coven.
won. So at the very moment like Ryan was able to clear the top zone, it was just like, there, I'm making 2 more points. You weren't able to clear the middle zone.
Yeah.
You weren't able to score anything else. You probably scored 1 with the flag on top, but that's it, and it's over.
So thoughts? I mean, it's kind of what we expected, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really what we expected. So the double blinds 2 turns in a row. That was a big thing for
the double blind twice.
Double blind.
I think from what I expected, I think the double blind twice has just made it finish. It's just finished it really quicker. But I kind of think even if he got 1 blind a turn, it's still probably would have gone the Coven way.
The thing that I guess the Swedish player could have done differently is that those 2 taps were at the same time at the same place. So it was really easy for Ryan to just risk one of his actions. Like, you know what? If I'm able to get to land those 2 blinds, if I'm able to blind 2 battle engine, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna lose 1 arc node. Yep. Well, I can do the same trick, right afterwards, and I'm not gonna use my arc nodes for anything else in that game because that's obviously the best use of them.
Yep.
So if you it just have to commit one piece here. It's not that so much of a problem for him to just come back with the same plane next turn. And this is what happened.
Yeah. So, shall I go see if I can turn the camera around?
2-0 for England. You can.
I'll
sir.
see if I
It
can
would
get
be
that.
great. Thank you very much. I don't know, je sais pas. Pour l'instant, il y a 2-0 pour la main. And as Chris is moving the camera over, so we can look at this game between Everblight and Kador, and awesome. So there's 2 thrones in here, and it's the second time Rich is on the stream.
It is.
Rich is the stream superstar.
So let's have a look. I think they put their marker right under where we've got the Belgium. Simple to see what the score is.
So we're just gonna have to guess. I'm just gonna remove the scoring thing since we don't really know what it is.
Yeah. I just pick the eye. Okay, so this is the game we were talking about. Between Zakova 1 and Serena Rice. So it looks like, we were having that conversation before with the 2 thrones in the zone, and it must have been must have been like post Richard's turn. They must have like had to have dealt with something else. One of the jacks has gone. So he's chosen to kill one of the jacks as opposed to go for the men. So he would have killed a lot of the men. But obviously the Swedish player has seen that the jacks were more of a threat.
And right now, I think that Rich is in a good position on top because the only thing that is really a problem here is the throne of the blights, and the throne is probably going to be.
Or Carnivian? Looks like a Scythian, doesn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, the pikemen are going to be able to charge, and they're going to be able to, I'm not sure about if they're all going to be able to charge, but if they remove that big piece here, it means it's going to be another point for Rich, obviously, because there is a jack in the area.
The other part to that as well is if that Scythian decides to charge the Great Bears, so he's not going to be able to get to the Juggernaut in the zone. If he charges the Great Bears in a way that gets him in the zone, I'm not sure he can actually get in the zone and see both Great Bears with the angle that's there, because he'd have to be quite far out to get the 2 inches on both. If he doesn't do that, so say for example he charges the closest Great Bear, the other Great Bear gets to countercharge him and has flank with that countercharge, so that's quite a horrible position for that Scythian to be in. Also, even if he does kill both Great Bears, he has a Juggernaut. Now, how far away is that Juggernaut from Zakova though? That looks way out of 14, so it won't be a Juggernaut with focus. So that could be risky. If that Scythian does take out both Great Bears, that Juggernaut is probably not going to one round him in return. And then he could probably, with some manoeuvring to keep the Fury there, he probably could one round the Juggernaut. So that's possibly somewhere that the Seren player can try and force, try and take out that bottom zone, start scoring on them. Centrally though, looks like there's nothing on the flag for the Legion player. I would imagine you've got a Kovnik right behind the flag on Rich's side. Is that? I think that might be Markov. It's difficult to see the size of the base.
Yeah.
So I think Rich will be scoring his flag. There's nothing on the other side scoring the other flag.
That would be 2, and if you can get rid of the throne, it's going to be 3.
Yeah.
Which is big.
We don't. I think earlier the Legion player was ahead on scenario points.
And they just.
Zakova is on do not die mission. Like literally, that is what she's doing now. She is running away.
Is she really in a position where she can die like this? Is she really that soft?
Yes.
To the touch.
Post feat, she is 15, 14, I believe, with about 15 or 14 boxes. But it's like we said before. It's at this moment, other than the play in the bottom zone, which you can see for the Legion player, it's not looking great. So that's at the point where the Legion player is going to go, how do I get to Zakova? They will, if it's a 10%er at this point, at this level, if it looks like it's going down, they'll go for it. So Rich, the correct play for Rich is literally just to be run to a point where they don't get a single attack and camp focus in case he's not thought of a weird angle that they can make in on him. So I do actually think this is looking, because now you don't have that out.
It
doesn't look like the scenario is going to happen. It does look like this might be Rich.
That's a big roll,
there's a
right?
big roll. Yeah, power 13 means there's going to be quite a bit of damage on there as well.
A bit less of a big roll, but still some damage.
I think I might be going 5 for 5 on this one.
Sorry?
I think I might be 5 for 5 on this one. The War Machine Pundit, they should put betting on this. I'd make loads of money. Let's have a look. Hang on, let's just check. So, well played, go England. So the lines are up 2. Have we got any other results? So just England Knights is all we've seen. So the Ostrom game is the game that we actually expect for England to lose, and I think, obviously we could have a chat all afterwards and see, but we think he dropped it.
Is the Ballinger still alive after all those charges?
It looks that way.
So.
Now the one thing he can't do is he can't cast spells at Zakova, so there won't be any spell assassinations coming in.
Yeah, but if the Ballinger is still alive, he's gonna eat, literally.
Yes. Eat everything.
Eat everything.
Oh no, hang on, we've got some other Iron Fangs coming in.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but is it gonna be enough?
I don't know. That looks like
Because
quite a bit of health.
one is charging the Naga and one is charging the Battle Engine. So the thing is, I'm afraid that all those tasty pac-men, I'm afraid the Legion player is probably going to be able to heal
Quite a bit of it, to be fair.
63.
Yeah. Reasonable damage roll. Looks about 9 boxes left on that. You need a big number to finish that off. No.
And that's the Naga.
There is a Marauder. I don't know if that Marauder's activated, but there was a Marauder. I don't think it has behind the Iron Fangs. So that Marauder will make mincemeat of a huge base. Yeah, so he's running the Marauder up to get into the zone. I wonder if that's within 4 inches though. I suppose that's the question now. Is it a case of do you risk trying to kill the Marauder to definitely not die next turn, or do you go after the Pikeman to do the healing, but then potentially die next turn to the Marauder? Because with the 4 attacks, you need all 4 to finish off that Marauder, I think.
True.
I mean, we don't know how much damage it's taken, but I would imagine it's probably pretty fresh. Yeah, that does look like it's Malikov. So Malikov is staying on the flag, and it looks like... okay, so from what I heard there, it's another 2 for the... right, okay. So... I'm trying to figure out what he's put there. 6. I think that's a 6. 6-2? Rich has awful handwriting.
Where do you see this? Is that on his own
So he's got his own sheet. So it looks
okay.
like it's gone 1, 3, 5, 6. So I think Rich is on 6.
I think we're going to get the information
on 2.
right away.
The judge is giving green, and he's going to go have a
to
look.
us, trying to
See
get
with closer
informations.
eyes if he can even decipher Rich's spider scrollings across the page. No, he's having to get even closer.
It is
6-2.
6-2.
Okay. So 1 point ahead. Now, in return, so if you see what he's done, he's charged up to charge that model and therefore see the other one with the
sit-in.
So we'll get because he's in reach of both, he'll not get counter charge, and he should be able to kill both of them. Sokova's way too far away now to do that. So I do wonder whether a Juggernaut's not going to kill that Scythian. That's all.
No, we're going to focus.
2 attacks. The best he can hope for is maybe to get a crit stationary, so that it costs a Fury. So that's 1 less attack. But really, he's not going to score that zone. But it's going to take in 2 turns. That's going to be a really bad time for Rich on that side. But it looks like that's turn 6.
I think he's going to lose like most of his.
Yeah, this looks like it's Rich's game. Zakova's safe. He's ahead on points in the scenario. We're on turn 6.
I forgot about this thing. Yes, if you're on turn 6 and you're already so much ahead, it doesn't matter if your opponent can get like 2 more points.
Because at the end of turn 7,
you're just like, meh. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, if suddenly something happens and everything dies, and you manage to get that 5-point swing, but I can't see the 5-point swing, seeing as there's nothing that can get to Rich's flag as well. So, and it doesn't appear to be anything that. I mean, that looks like a Hellion, and I understand, obviously, maybe he's just keeping the Hellion off the flag so that he can use its free charges, that kind of thing. But I don't know, if you're getting that behind on scenario, it feels like you need to start using them to get keep up. Even if you can't contest that flag, if you send one to your own flag, you're stopping them get the details. No, the stream's not down. We're watching ourselves to make sure, because we unfortunately can't see the chat, so we're having to watch ourselves, which is hideous, by the way, through through an iPad. So we're seeing your chat and communicating. So Toby, I don't know why you can't see that. It looks like the Muse one. If you're talking about that one, the Muse one seems to be going. They've got 2 games there as well. So yeah, I don't know. Don't know where the issue is there. Let's have a look. So, right, yeah. So it looks like he's going for the pikeman instead. That Marauder will be within range of Zakova though, so I would definitely expect that throne to die next turn. And then yeah, that's pretty much game at that point. He'll get 1 point from his own flag, score that zone. Even if he's not going to clear that, so yeah, pretty much Zakova dying is the only way through. I don't know, I can't see anything Legion wise.
I'm really waiting for the activation of the Throne of the Blight. I want to see what's happening here.
Yeah.
I want to see how many sprays gonna go, or many spine. The thing is, like now they're not in shield wall for sure. So the option of I still think the spray might be the best option.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But it leaves. That's what I mean. The problem is there's 2 jacks nearby. I'm not sure if I think that might be a Juggernaut in the woods, so that possibly can't get there.
Why? I don't think you can tough. Oh, he has to. The Grievous Wound thing is the Animus.
It's
right?
the Animus,
Not,
so he's not used the Animus.
Yeah, whatever, it's dead. Nom.
So he kills them. I mean,
Maybe,
the Juggernaut's going to
this
get to walk over and
was
hit it.
attracted by the scent of those dead pigs that you can see on the terrain here.
Yes, obviously.
There are 2 dead pigs.
Who doesn't like pork? Rich doesn't like pork, actually, being a vegan. So maybe that's why he's trying to defend the poor pigs that got killed.
And the French team, I think, lost.
Oh no.
To the German team.
So it looks like the Germans are through.
Yes, some of the French team.
If this goes the way we think it's going, with Rich winning this game, that would be 3-0 to England. So it's looking highly likely that England are going to go through, because they've got 1 in 3 games to win. One's looking pretty good, and I think the other games. I think the Austrian player was probably pulled through, and the Haley 3 was kind of neck and neck at that point. So I mean, it's still all to play for if somehow Zakova dies here, or there's a weird scenario change play that gets made. That would mean that Sweden is still in it. But at the moment, my premonitions are coming true.
Well,
if I can get 5 out of 5. That'd be good. That'd be 17 out of 20 predictions correct. Just to remind you. Ryan won. Ryan was the mainstream. This isn't, by the way, if you just turned in, this isn't Axis versus Coven. We've just turned the camera around so we can record, we can see the other game and talk about it without being too close. So Coven won on scenario. There was part of it, which I'm sure you'll hear, which was both the Teps were blinded twice during the game, but we were all thinking it was going to go the Coven's way anyway, so that just
made it so easy.
Yeah.
Ryan was scoring 2 points at return. At some point, the Deathripper was like, "Nah, I'm out of option."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna still sending balls here and there to contest and everything.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to kill those things with Bane Riders.
I just remembered, I forgot to bring this yesterday.
The nerds.
We're watching nerds.
Surrounded by nerds. Nerds everywhere.
I do love nerds, they're great.
So actually, you know what? We're talking, and the throne is actually going to turn on those pikemen.
It has just murdered them. Yeah, that's what I was saying. At that point, it was you try and damage and kill the Marauder, or you kill the pikeman. And he can definitely kill the pikeman. He's probably healed up quite a bit off it. What? Oh wow! He's actually. What is in there? Is something else in that zone that we can't see behind the throne? Maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe Rias has tried to do it, but she's not going to score. Not going to score. It's round 6.
The throne is because there's another jack over here for sure. But the thing is that Rias here, she can take every jack she can send at her.
Yep.
And she has, doesn't she have riposte or something? Like if you miss, she's gonna hit you?
Yep. And crit the cap.
Oh shoot. Oh snap.
So, maybe. So the bottom zone, I'm trying to think, so if this is, depends if this is the top or bottom of 6. If this is one more turn each, is he going to run something to contest that flag? I think he needs to. It doesn't look like he's scoring anywhere else. He might be scoring the middle zone actually. I can't see any.
So it looks like England Knights got another round. Ben Robinson, one over Michael Liggins.
Okay, so it's
2-0 for
the
England
Knights.
Knights.
Lions is Ryan and Patrick won, so we saw that live.
Okay, so it looks like there's just been a spray cast from Rice, I believe that might be, or Seren. It's difficult to see from here which one it is. Okay, so they've killed one. I think that might have been a Coven. Let's see if we can see. So I can still see from here there are Cador Jacks still on the board, which is never a good thing. Matt Gallagher is moving frantically, so I think it's his turn.
You probably have a better view than I do.
Yeah, I can still see live Jacks, so, and they're still going for it, so that's all to play for. Just having a look at the Menoth game. There doesn't seem to be a lot of Menoth that I can see on the table.
Yeah, I think it says this tin can and a couple of dwarves. That's pretty much it.
So basically, England now just need one of these 3 games to go through.
And
this one's looking a bit more dicier than I thought it was, so still all to play for Sweden. So we think we're going to see the Austrian win against Menoth. I think if Matt is able to. I'm wondering if that game's over actually. Oh no.
I'd like to know what's the results on the other French team, but the thing is not being updated, so. Well, actually, I might just ask.
So that must have been Riotous flashing blading.
Oh, and so she
Getting
just
rid
got
of all
rid of
the-
everybody,
Yep.
and now.
So now we've got the throne coming in. Is the foreign game finished?
Our game's finished. We lost.
So Karchev beat Haley.
Can't beat Haley.
Okay.
So we are 2-1 up. We are about to lose 5 versus Austria. And the other game is incredibly close.
Okay, so it turns out we have the correct game to be watching right now. We've turned the camera around, it looks like this is the game that was going to decide it. We don't know the details of how it happened, but I'd imagine the fact that he was ahead on scenario probably had something to account for it. So Haley 3 has lost,
You know,
so
if there is an
ruining my
opportunity-
perfect record here.
If there is another turn for the Swedish player, next turn the C10 is going to kill the Juggernauts.
Yes.
It could be 1 to 3. I don't see only 3. I can't see 4 points being scored here, but. Those sprays.
So those sprays can't go through the woods. So I think that's what he's thinking, because he can't clear his own zone. He can't clear his own zone. I don't think is he close enough? Is that 4? Is that 4 and 6? That might be 4 and 6. So I think he can contest with the
the one in the
throw.
middle for sure, right? You must have a caster near it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 1.
So get 1 there.
It's going to be 1 there. So
No flag at the bottom.
It's going to be just 1.
Just 1.
but-
And then he has to contest the flag. Otherwise, he just loses. Yeah, so because if he goes to 1 up, then that would make it uncontested. That makes it 6-3. And then all.
Rich is still going to be able to score on his flag, so it's 1-1 this turn.
I think he's deciding what to do with the throne at the moment. I think that proxy base.
Oh yeah, so to
So
be
if
within
that,
those 4
so
inches.
if he's within
Okay,
4
yeah, I
inches,
missed
then that goes to 6-3. Because Rich is already on 6, so he's 3 ahead. So all Rich would then have to do is get 2 points. And where would he get those 2 points from? He's probably not going to get them from the Scythian, because the Juggernaut's too far away, so he won't kill it. Probably.
The thing is, if the throne is up there, and if he healed like most of his stuff, I'm not sure that the Carian Jack is going to be able to one round it. Then Ryas is going to be able to take, kill the Carian Warjack.
Yeah.
But there's still, is it a Ulan or something on the top right?
Yes.
So it's not going to be
so
easy
it's
to
advancing
kill,
up.
but it can be done. So okay, something.
So
that
I think-
strike. Oh yeah, but all those things here, they're all bagmans, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's going for the 3. Oh, that's a big dice roll. That's a 10.
Okay, so I guess no, I think it's probably gonna die to those rolls.
11.
2 left.
2 left.
Dead.
6-3. Yeah.
That's it.
And that's it. Kills it. Can't contest.
So it's free. It's,
Slight bias there.
it's a win for the English team.
So that's a win for Coven. So
it's a win for the English team.
It's a win for the English team. So they are 3-1 up. So the last game, which we predicted was Ostrom win, we'll make it 3-2.
Make it.
So
Okay.
that's really close. That was really good round. Just want to make it known, I only got the Haley 3 wrong. The rest of them I predicted correctly.
So wait.
So I'm on 16 out of 20
come on.
predictions, and you're on.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop rooting for the huge
so
racecaster.
n-
Although,
9.
if we can see a Denny 3 in the next round, I will root for Denny 3, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
So we're currently on 16-9 on the prediction stakes.
I have enough game to get this to. Okay, I'm gonna try to go to 15 or something.
Yeah.
Should be
So
okay. Should be able to do this.
right then. So. So England team's looking a bit happier. Poor Paul is just getting drummed by all those dwarfs. He must be happier now. He knows that they've won. But yeah, he's still playing out that game and getting squished by the Paul.
So do we want Pat to come here?
Yeah, we'll get Pat on. Golly, Ryan. Golly, could you grab Pat for me? Could you send Pat over for me? Not to keep people waiting. I kind of think that one's ended. Yeah.
Hello, sir, and welcome again.
Okay.
No, it's
No,
the first
this is
time
my
here. You
first time
were just in front of us. Sorry. Yeah. To this wonderful commentary booth.
Yeah.
So your team won.
We did.
How do you feel?
Oh my god, that round was terrifying. It was such a nail biter. We won 2 games early, and those were the games that were really in our favour. We're like, cool, we've got these. And then as we finished those games, I look over at the other tables, and 2 of them are falling apart. So we won my game, which was Grimkin versus Menoth, and Ryan's game, which was
to access.
Yeah, so we won those games quite quickly and relatively easily with a bit of luck. And then on the other side, we had Haley 3 into Karchev, and we had Thyra into Osram, and those games were disasters for us. We knew that Matt had a bad matchup with Karchev, and he just kind of took it. Like, it wasn't ideal. We thought he could maybe play it, but the fast scenario was actually really good for Karchev because he just has so many heavies everywhere. Yeah. And it's hard for Haley because she kind of stays in one small part of the board. And with our Menoth versus Mercs matchup, we basically felt like we were in this chicken situation where both sides have an infantry swarm and an armor brick.
Yeah.
And we think our infantry swarm beats their infantry swarm.
Yeah.
And our armor brick beats their armor brick. And then
That was how we called
Yeah.
it. That's the second time we've seen that actually. It's the same thing happened. We saw the list that we thought would drop for Texas go into Ostrom, and then the Ostrom player is just like, brilliant.
yeah, so we reasoned that on a scenario this fast, they were more likely to drop Texas because he can spread over the board, he's got ambush, he can claim all the zones. So that's basically what made us decide the coin toss. We thought it was just a coin toss if we get a good one matchup, but they're probably likely to play Texas, so we'll drop Thyra. What we didn't know is in Sweden they call that guy Bosram. He only plays Ostrom, and he was always going to drop Ostrom. So. Paul played the game really well, I think, and ground it out, and he came close, but it was always really
What
hard.
was that knowledge like prior of you, going against Ostrom? Like you knew that this player was named Bosrom?
Yeah, we had no idea.
Okay.
They kept that secret. And then, yeah, you guys saw the finale for the Legions of Coven game. That game was pretty close.
Yeah, it was,
and that was really the deciding game of the.
We were discussing the Zakova runaway, and he was like, why is Zakova running away? And we it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Quite a scene is yours was the final game. See if we can pull in.
Let's see how we can change the camera angle so we can get most of the people here.
Hello, English team.
We were just saying we had 2 good matchups and 2 bad matchups, and they went as expected. You really wanted to play against Legion.
Yeah, now I never do ever again. So the good matchup is Zakova 1 into Angels, the Flying Beats, but it looks like everyone's clocked onto this.
Yeah.
So I was sat there going like, oh brilliant, if you're on a high def, yeah whatever, I'm just gonna stab away these. And then he's like, I dropped Sound and Rise. And I'm like, that's fine, the 2 battle engines, that's fine, I'll just feet on them and they won't be able to do any special attacks, and I'll put clouds on them so they go to, basically they need like 8s and 9s to hit my pikemen.
So they do nothing that time.
And they can't do anything for that, and then they just get charged. I'm like, brilliant. I deployed, he deployed, and then spent 15 minutes going, I think I've lost this game. Because he put Sound and Rise right in the middle, and if I ever feet on anything meaningful, Zakova gets killed. So Zakova didn't do anything or get. No, she cloud walled for 1 turn, and apart from that, she just ran away from Riot and Camp 7. The whole game. She didn't feet, she just sat there.
We did say this at one point. I said when you saw her run to the top, it was like, this is I've seen Rich do this before. This is the only way I win this now, lose this, is Zakova dies. So Zakova just runs away.
Yeah. So that was really cool. But yeah, there's a couple of, I spiked some dice really early on, which really helped. And then if you look at the way it goes, it's like, so I was looking at attacking that bottom zone, having everything there. And in the end, I just had my brave Juggernaut just go and hold it and score some points. And then that's a watch.
He just sat out of control the whole game, right?
Yeah. So, but my plan originally was to come and focus on the bottom zone.
Yep.
So my turn 1 with that massive pond in the middle was like, fuck, I'm going to Ghost Walk and run over here. So I went up to the top zone and then just kept sending Cav in, like 1 initially, he was on some stuff, and then sent the other 2 in, then sent the Jack in, and all the pikemen's in. So the only things I did all the time was just Cloud Wall so I could deliver everything into the zone. Yep. And then he made a mistake by giving me the central zone. So I gave him my Iron Fangs to score a point in the central zone because it's clearly going to be a scenario game. So he went into his last turn at 6-2, cleared the central zone to go to 6-3, but then realised he didn't have anything to contest my flag. So I go 7-3, I just run something into the central zone and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. But even if I hadn't got that central point, I'd have had the Iron Fangs back. And instead what I can do is just clear that top zone now, because that was on
Battle Engine had very little
yeah.
HP left.
So it's done, so I can still score the 2 points, which is fine. I gave up all the Cav just to kill the 2 solos. I gave the Great Bears and the Cav to kill the 2 solos, and then the Great Bears and 2 of the Cav charges cleared up 0 as well.
Just so the
that's
bottom
really
flag can't be scored?
Yeah, pretty much. So I prioritised the solos. So it's one of those ones where I sent all 3 Great Bears into the Hellion. It's like, this bitch is getting killed. So it's one of those, and then the Cav just dealt with the Forsaken. So it's a bit weird, like trading 12 points for a free solo theme.
We've got a question for you from the stream. It says, can you ask the England players what they are worried about in the England Corollary team? They have Scorn and Una2 Tanith pairing. This is from Miso82. I don't know if this is...
this is how we worried about the
I don't
scouting.
think we can really go into that much detail about what we're worried about and what could be our next matchup.
Yeah, this
but
does
they
sound
are
like
a really good team and they've got some great lists.
Yeah.
A bit worried about all of them.
Yeah, so England Knights are 2% up, so Germany are 50%. Yeah, so if England Knights get a 3rd win, then you guys can't play each other, so the other 2 remaining teams...
How are Knights doing?
They're 2-0 up.
They're 2-0 up?
Yeah.
Who are they playing? The Grady Switzerland Chocolate?
They are playing, yes. So the people who win is James Sykes has won, and Ben Robinson has won. So we're waiting on Norbert, Alex, and Andy.
You were the
we got an okay, fair enough for the reply. So. Yeah. Giving away tech before a game is probably not the best of ideas. In that case, guys, the next round is at 1:45. So everyone's going to go get food, figure out who they're playing against, do lots of secret tech. But yes, we will be back with obviously one of the games. I think you're hoping for the French team, aren't you?
I don't think. Let's see. There's still one game going on.
One game going on, so maybe the French team, maybe Quentin will get his reward.
Yeah, otherwise,
just want to say, guys, as well, I'm currently 16 out of 20 predictions correct.
Yeah, you
I got that round exactly right, except for Golly, who I thought Golly would win that. Obviously, I'm not aware of
That was
that.
such a hard game, that scenario for Golly. Yeah.
So, but poor Quentin here, he's only on 9 predictions correct.
because I decided to root for all the weird casters to think so I was like, oh, Resnick 2, that must be something very special here. I'm gonna root for him.
So we got
And
our
then
own
the previous
little
game,
game.
Xerxes 2, yeah. No, there's something going on.
Yeah, he has a plan.
They lost, that's it.
Right then, guys. Someone's asked for a finger dance.
Finger dance.
When we win.
When you win, okay, you can get a finger dance.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Okay, and with that, we're gonna close the stream for now, and it's time for us to go and get food, right? Yes, because food is good.
So thank you very much, guys, for joining us, and